What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another week, another episode of 30 NSG. On today's show, we're going to be talking about Concord. We got a couple of devs or reports about devs, arguing, or I should say, the reason that Concord failed is not because it was a bad product, is because, the same old sexist, racist, misogynistic things happen. So we're going to talk about a little bit about that. We're going to talk about Greg Owen has a new video called Terrible Products Fail, and That's Good. And we talk about this all the time. If your product is not good, it needs to fail, so you know it's not good, right? So not everything can be a success, so we're going to watch that. I haven't watched it, but we're going to watch it together. We're going to also talk about Fran Marabella, who used to work for IGN way back when. I met him a couple times. Nice guy. He brought up something this weekend about Space Marines, about just the business structure of what the game is. And I've been talking about this for quite some time, and I thought it was nice that someone else that was higher up, that has a bigger following, also brought it up. So I'm going to read his tweets. We're going to discuss that a little bit. Because, again, Space Marines is not the problem as far as the game itself. It's the business structure of the industry, what they're doing, and what's happening in the stream more and more. So we'll have a little conversation about that as well. We're also, if we have time, we're going to talk about Toys for Bob could be teasing a Spyro game. And then also, what else we got here? And then we talked about it on GXG just Thursday. We were talking about the Minecraft trailer. Would it get changed? Would it get fixed? How long would it take for the community to fix it? It's done. It's fixed already. Someone did it yesterday, which is what we talked about it on Thursday. So it came out on Tuesday last week, right? Monday or Tuesday last week. And then we talked about it on Thursday. And we said, how long until someone fixes it? I said a week. I think it's less than a week. I think Tuesday is a week, or today might be a week. It might be a week. So someone actually fixed it. So we'll actually take a look at that as well. If you guys like what we do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till about noon Eastern. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We are trying to become a 3,000 sub channel. So if you want to get us there and you're not subscribed, hit that button down below and help us out. We always get like a 3, and then we lose 1, and then we gain 2, and then we lose 1. And it's like we're like stuck around where we're at. So what's going on, Nate? What's going on, Travis? What's going on, Z? Morning, Ghost Fixer, Water Bear, Roic, El Dente, good morning. Eclipse, good morning. Who else is here? Sarge, good morning. Jojo, good morning, or good afternoon. All right, so let me scroll back up. See what you guys are talking about here. Travis says, 30. I finished Outlaws last night, easily 8 out of 10, but then again, I'm a person who appreciates a game for what it is not, or what it is, comma, not what I want it to be. Yeah, I mean, again, I also, Travis, have enjoyed the game, but I also don't have to, try to defend it, right? Because there's no reason to defend a game. If you like it, you like it, right? It doesn't change the fact that people don't like it and the reasons they don't like it, right? So I agree. I think it's about a 7 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10, right? If they make the quality of life changes that I've said over the last 2 weeks playing it, then I think it would be it's not going to be a 10 out of 10, but it would raise it up and be like a better game overall. But it still has those problems. Nate says, I was trying to matchmake over the weekend, but it wasn't asking me to enter a code. I think Travis already answered your question about that. Good morning, Ghost Fixer. El Dente, good morning. Let's see what you... Oh, Mo, what's going on? Missed you. There you go. Travis says, Space Marines 2 is a hilarious story to me. How 5 years ago people would say it's perfect. Now it's not enough for them. Nope, that's always been a thing. Short campaigns have always been a crux for a lot of games. People have been complaining about short campaigns in Call of Duty for, I don't know, 2 decades. People complained about stories of other games because they don't feel like it's worth the time, especially if it's just a single-player game and there's nothing else. With Space Marines 2, it's a short campaign, but then you have the co-op missions and you have the PvP. But at the end of the day, it's still an incomplete game that you're paying more money for today than you are next year when all the content comes out. Ron Slusher, Astrobot coming to Game Pass? No, I don't think so, Ron. But I wouldn't be surprised if Astrobot came to PC about a year from now. El Dente says, people always complain when a game is good, you always want more. Yeah. Yeah, it's too short. How many times have we like, oh, man, that's a great game. I just wish it was a little longer. Okay. Well, here's the thing, right? I want to start off with this story instead of talking about the Concord story. I want to talk about, this is like a thing I've been bringing up recently, okay? About how games are just, I have no problem with games themselves, right? I have no problem with Star Wars. I have a problem with Star Wars business model. I have no problem with Space Marines, the game. I have a problem with its business model. I don't have a problem with lots of other games that come out, and they're good games. They have good graphics. They run well. I have a problem with the business model, okay? And the business model is that they try to give you the game at a lower thing, meaning there's less in the game, and they charge you more. Now, there's a difference between charging you for a battle pass or season pass, and you're paying for it, because I'll take that as it's DLC, okay? DLC. But when a game company comes out, like Suicide Squad, and says, here you have all of this, and everything is free, but you're going to pay up front early access, right? Where people paid $100, $120 or whatever to get it early access, and you have to wait 4 seasons to get all the content in the game. Then once all the content's in the game down the road, it's cheaper. Okay, Space Marines right now, as much as people love it, okay, is doing the exact same thing as the model of what Suicide Squad did or what Marvel's Avengers did, where they're charging you money up front, okay, and there's not all the content in the game. All the content's free afterwards. All the stuff, the horde mode, the extra missions, the extra whatever they're putting in, but you're paying now instead of 1 year from now. Okay, so Fran Melbella, okay, brings up in his tweet, he says, you're being played. Okay, early unlock / play remains one of the worst gaming industry crutches, especially in level-based match-made co-op type games like Space Marines 2. He says, quote, you can play early, but you only if you buy more stuff, even though you've never even tried the game yet. The only way to play right now, early, ahead of September 9th release is pre-order the DLC and the Season Pass. Imagine a world when you use a lineup for a launch night, and a world where you also turn away, it's also what you're buying a gold edition. Note, okay, I'm sure someone's actually tried that. Okay, he says, and he continues, the point of this is, if games need to succeed by locking them behind pre-order bonuses, we have fundamental problem. In general, when you buy unlock game or when you buy early unlock games, you're encouraging game makers to ask for more of your money. Okay, once does he? Yeah, let me open this up. Unlock the games, encouraging you to ask for more money. Once you play a day early, then what? Then it was 2, then it was 3, now it's 4 because money. Okay. He continues by saying there's exceptions and ideas, there are expectations and ideas that were also useful, and I have to support this plenty. But that's another story. Broadly, we want to see the best, most exciting moments in gaming unfold as all players come together to simply try a game at launch. Okay, now he's got some comments that he comes back to and whatnot, but that's the fundamental problem that I've been saying, that you have to stop. I understand people love, like, you've been waiting 13 years for Space Marines 2 to come out, right? Because the first one was back in like 2011 or whatnot, 2012. Okay, but now everyone just jumps on board. They don't care. You guys don't care. You just spend the money. You're getting a lesser product. Let me go into his, because his replies, he actually replies to some people. Someone says, how is this being played exactly? If someone wants to play it early, and it's an option, then pay for the upgraded pack. If you don't, then go for the standard. Someone brand new in this game isn't likely to shell out some extra 10 to 20 just to play it early. He says playing a game for 4 days early is not the true value. Like, would you buy a car 4 days early for more money? And that's a great point. I brought up this stuff in the past. Like, all right, you order a steak, but we get your steak out early, but it's a $15 extra. And you're like, yeah, cool. I get to eat 10 minutes earlier than everybody else at the table. Great, right? If I want to buy a car, but I could buy the car today. No. You could buy the car today, but we can't give it to you for 4 days from now unless you pay an extra additional money on top of that to get it early, okay? And that is the fundamental problem, that if you buy this stuff early, a game costs $70 now, but 3 days extra, you're paying half that price on top of. So now you're paying 120 or 110 or whatever it is, okay? And you're paying half the price of a video game for just 3 days early access. And everyone's okay with this. And I'm baffled by this because the more you guys do this, the more companies are going to do this. And the more you're going to play. So if you're a person that complains that $70 is too much, but then you're paying $110, $120 for, I can't listen to you anymore. Because if you're a person that's actually said this out loud to me and said $70, I don't know why games are $70, and then you pay 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, and you're okay with it, you're the problem. You're the problem why the industry keeps going this way. Now, this is not all games, and I could bring up some games that came out, didn't have early access, came out, and they were wonderful games. Full games. Finished games. They might have little bugs here and there, but they were finished games. Okay? He continues on and says, playing a game 4 days early and extra money. This isn't to say people who have money don't place value on that idea. In other words, explain to me how Space Marines 2 is $60. Then explain to me how the DLC, which is a few skins, and the season pass is worth 50% of the entire game's launch value. Okay? Again, the point here is to go ahead and charge $30 for whatever you want, for skins, for season pass, but locking a game behind its bait, an uncertainly exclusive. And if it's, like I said, if it's kind of a game that you would want at launch, game with fewer people than matchmake with, right? And it's stupid because you're not giving your game the best light. You're charging more for less stuff, and the stuff that you're putting in the game over the next year is free, but you're paying for that game up front 12 months in advance, right? And it's mind-boggling to me personally, right? Now, obviously, I practice what I preach. I don't play games or buy games at full price like that so I can wait a year to finish them. Okay? Starfield didn't pay full price for it because it's not done yet. And when the Shattered Space comes out at the end of this month, which is after 1 year after Starfield, it might be a better game with all the bugs and fixes they've done over the time. They've added a car already, right? I've enjoyed my time with the game, right? But I also didn't pay full price. Star Wars Outlaws, not a complete game, okay? It's got problems and bugs and fixes. They've even admitted to it, and they said they were going to fix it over time. And when the next missions or seasons come in, by the time all that stuff comes out, it'll be cheaper. Even if I paid $18 each time the season pass came out, I'm still paying less than the people paid up front to pay the same stuff, just paying for Ubisoft Plus. Okay? Same exact stuff. Okay? Or I wait completely and then, okay, and then purchase it at the end. That's a better consumer. Now, Suicide Squad, obviously, I didn't pay for it. I didn't want to pay for it. I didn't want to buy it. My brother-in-law, who supports us, right, like as Mike, what I'm doing, he's like, hey, you're a gamer. He likes the game, but doesn't get the game as much. He purchased that for me, right? And I told him, don't purchase games for me again. If you want to give me like gaming stuff, give it to me in a gift card and let me purchase what I want to purchase. Don't get me a game. But nonetheless, I have Suicide Squad. We played Suicide Squad, but Suicide Squad is a incomplete game. It's a game that they charged more money so you could play early, and you have to wait 1 year for that content to come out. And more of this is happening. Now, there's great games out. Some of the best games this year are complete games that you purchase up front. There's Stellar Blade. Now, I might miss a few here. So live chat, in the comment section afterwards, let me know if there was a game that I missed that didn't have early access and was complete when you purchased it, right? I believe Stellar Blade didn't have early access, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, but it's a complete game. Okay, and it's a good game. Black Myth Wukong. Didn't have early access, came out, and people are enjoying it. Astrobot, that just came out. Not early access. People bought the game, played the game. Fantastic game. Dragon's Dogma 2, if I think I remember correctly, didn't have early access. Has bugs and stuff, but it's a complete game, and you can enjoy that game, and it sold really well. Hellblade 2 didn't have early access, but at the same time, if I'm not mistaken, it's a little weird with Game Pass games because people don't pay for it, but then they also pay for it. But you can play, if you bought the game was complete at purchase, okay? And people also complained about how short the gameplay was, just to prove Travis wrong again, that people don't complain about it. Prince of Persia, when it came out earlier this year. That's a complete game. I don't believe there was an early access for Prince of Persia as well. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, I don't believe had early access, and it was a complete game. Rise of Ronin, okay, didn't have early access, and I believe it was a complete game. And another one, which is not really a game, it's a DLC, but it's a game that you can purchase, but you have to have the others on, is Elden Ring's DLC, right? Where you didn't have early access to it, and it's a complete game, okay? There's thousands of games, right? Thousands, right? Hundreds of games that have come out this year, okay? Hundreds of games that have come out this year, and very few that are not live service or early access or beta or early preview, okay? AAA games, by the way, okay, that have come out and that are complete. You didn't have to pay early access. You didn't pay 3 extra early days or 4 extra early days. You didn't pay $130 for the game. You paid for the game, and you played the game. Okay. And by the way, we do have make a game, sell a game emotes in the chat now. So if you guys want to use those, okay. So my conversation here is, if somebody wants to change, right? If you want a fundamental change and you don't want the industry to go where it is, then you have to stop buying the 3-day early access, 4-day early access for the FOMO, because you and I know both that you're going to move on to the next game because there's so many games coming out, okay, that you buy a game on Tuesday, another game comes out on Friday, and you've already moved on. You've already moved on. And if you want a fundamental change, just like we had with microtransactions, with the loot boxes, we as a community have to say with our wallets, we don't want this. We want a regular game to come out on day one and to also play it. But if you're a person that doesn't care about that, then you're really not part of the conversation. You're okay with it, so it's going to go that way. And obviously, they don't need the majority. They just need a minority. And the minority pays for it, then they're more than happy to give it to you. And then it just starts to slowly wreck the video game industry more and more, slightly even more, every time a new AAA game comes out. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. And if you like what I do here, please make sure you check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. All right. Let me go back up to what you guys... Roadkill says, what's going on with Space Marines 2 needs to fix its effing servers. Do every time I play online match, I'm kicked. Each game, don't pre-order games. I'm finally going to learn my lesson. Are you, Roadkill? Are you? If you are, I give you a round of applause, okay? Because this happens all the time. All the time, Roadkill, right? If it's an online game, it's going to have server issues, right? Right? I hope this is the one that broke the camel's back for you. Travis says, I mean, just pay for the standard edition day one, play a great game and enjoy. Travis, you say that, but at the same time, did you get Space Marines early? Did you get Star Wars early? Did you get, I don't know what other games? That comes really hollow from a person that purchases this stuff and then says that, right? It doesn't matter if the person buys it day one. If people are buying it 3 days early access, that's what it's going to be. Go on, Cracker. Sarge says, bad consumers fall prey to bad marketing. Enjoy your learning curve. Z says, and the companies know it's not worth half to play early. This is why they hold back content and add it to the upgrade. Right, Z. Travis says, no, it's worth the extra $30 for the season pass. Probably not. But again, what I cared more about was the Steelbook. The season pass is just skins. You weren't paying for the content. The content is free for everybody that has the game. Nate says, I got it because it came with the season pass, so I don't have to pay later. The season pass is just skins. Like literally. Where's Fran's tweet? The season pass is just skins. Roadkill says, I just hate adding a recurring bill to my effing debit card. Don't have a lot of money, so I'd rather just pay the $120 and be a dumbass. Yeah, you know what, Roadkill? Here's the thing, though. It's okay that you're doing what you're doing, but it's even better that you know now you see what you're doing. Okay, it's okay that spend the money that you want to spend and have fun, but if you're hurting yourself to do it because of time, there's plenty of games, man. There's plenty of games out there for people to play. You don't have to go into debt to have a hobby. Larry, did you hear that Suicide Squad is becoming free to PlayStation Extra on the 17th? I did not. Does that mean it's coming to Game Pass as well, or is it just they just announced it for PlayStation Extra? Spider-Man 2 wasn't early access and was complete at launch. The only reason I didn't bring up Spider-Man 2, Travis, is because it didn't come out this year. Right, Eclipse. The Elden Ring DLC is bigger than most games. Absolutely. The Elden Ring DLC is bigger than the Space Marines DLC by 4 times. By Space Marines campaign, it's 4 times and it's DLC. Baldur's Gate 3 didn't have early access, did it? It doesn't matter. It didn't come out this year, right? The conversation is this year, games that came out. Kraken says, I had a buddy get upset with me because I didn't want to drop $30 to play Space Marines 2 a couple days early. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, yeah, it came out on Friday. I'll just wait for it to come out on Monday and play it. And even then, though, I don't want to play it because when they told me the Horde mode comes in 2025, I was like, I'm good. I'm good. And this is not saying anyone that plays the game and is enjoying the game and likes the game and thinks, well, it's the greatest game ever since games ever created. Fantastic. Me personally, I'm not paying full price for a game that's not a full content in the game. They chose to delay this game multiple times. It was supposed to come out last year, by the way. Okay. And now it came out this year, 1 year later, or roundabout. And the stuff that you have to wait for is 1 more year after that. Again, I speak this. Games take 3 to 5 years to make, but they release them on year 3, and they update them for the next 2 years to year 5. And you're paying extra. You're paying an extra $30, $40 for those games for 3 days, 4 days early access. Go on, Drummond. I'm doing fantastic. I got a nice, good sleep last night. Everyone's home, back in my house. My wife went on a trip this weekend. I was a little stressed out this weekend. Travis is trying to defend himself. You got the Steelbook, Travis. If that's why you got the Steel, if that's why you got the game, then don't worry about it. Not part of the conversation. Not part of the conversation. If you got it for the Steelbook, you're not part of the conversation. Why do people feel the need to say, "Well, I didn't do that. I'm not talking to you then," right? You bought it for some other reason. Okay, then this conversation is not directed at you. Mo says, I know the lesson I learned and the lesson, but I still not post attention to the lesson. It's a game I want. Sure, Mo. But just remember that if you don't complain about anything, then just keep chewing your own food. Okay? But if you want to chew your own food for $40 extra, which I know you don't because you play a lot of Game Pass games, okay? Right? If you want to spend more money on a game that just 3 days later you can play exactly the same, it's still not complete, by the way, then by all means, go ahead. Travis says, quick, get the Alex Jones hat and tell us about how the delay, it removed features. Actually, I don't need to be Alex Jones, Travis. I have a brain, and the game's delayed. And now, when the game comes out, it's still missing features. And they're updating it for the next year. You put 2 and 2 together. Roadkill says, yeah, Space Marines, they didn't fix the servers, man. Still getting kicked after every online match in today. And it's like the main day. I don't know what they're doing. They're doing exactly what they wanted to do, Roadkill. They're going to put the game out, make a shit ton of money, then put a post out that says, we appreciate your business. We hear what your problem. We're working on the maintenance issues. Sorry for the inconvenience. That's it. Sarge says you're paying extra if the game doesn't do well. You might not get the extras that were promised. That's right. That's right. FOMO on one side, Ultra Defense on the other. Yeah. Go on, Kyla. I honestly think it's beyond Concord at this point. Any game with the firewalk attached to it will be trashed. I think that they also should merge and split the people into Sony Studios. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. We'll see what happens with that. Obviously, it's easy to shit on the studio, like generalistically. But there's fundamental problems within that studio. And just like other studios, there's fundamental problems if it's upper management or if it's people leading the charge. We're going to read an article later, Kylo, about some weird shit at Firewalk Studios, right? Which probably led to what was happening with the game. Roic says, that's like going to a steakhouse, ordering a steak, but having to pay extra money to them to cook it for you later. That's right. First, you get the potato, right? If you want the steak at the same time as your sides, well, then you got to pay extra for it. It's like, I paid for the whole meal, man. Black Ops 6 is fire. I haven't played it. I don't know. Like, think about this, right? Think about what you guys do. How many games have you guys are a higher than the most in the people that watch my show are in the upper echelon, basically, of buying games, right? Like, you've bought multiple games this year. More than 3. Okay? More than 3. Okay? Now think about this. Okay? Let's say, I'm just going to name games, regardless if they're 70 or... Just say all the games I'm going to name. I know they're not. Listen to me. I know they're not all the price, but just putting it out there, right? You bought Stellar Blade, you bought Black Myth Wuhong, you bought Astrobot, you bought Dragon's Dogma 2, you bought Hellblade 2, you bought Prince of Persia, you bought Pacific Rim Drive, you bought Rise of Ronin, you bought Elden Ring DLC, right? Let's just say there's 10 games. 10 games. They're all $70, okay? They're all $70, okay? I know they're not. Again, I know all of them are not, right? You could throw Helldivers is for $40, Power World. I get that. Just say 10 games, right? The average person doesn't buy that many games, but that's 10 games times 70. That's $700. Now, that's an additional $400, okay? If they're charging an additional $30 to $40, that's an extra $300 to $400 for just 3 days early access for 10 games. Okay? Think about that for a second. That's an additional $300 to $400 for 3 days early access. Okay? All depending if the game charged $30 or $40. You could literally go buy, okay, another gaming system. Okay? You could take that money and put it off to the side and save it. You can invest it. You could go buy an additional 3 to 4 games with that on top of what you just purchased extra just to play 3 days early access. Okay? Right? It's insanity that people are like, I gotta play it on Friday, even though Monday it's $30 cheaper. Like, just shoot it up in my veins, baby. Just shoot it up in my veins. Right? And some of you guys are the same people that complain that a coffee costs $5. Think about that for a second. Okay? You're okay spending an additional $300 to $400 for just early access. And you complain about milk going up 25 cents or a coffee that it costs $5. Look, I'm just saying that if you keep buying the stuff 3 days early access to play it early, they're not going to change the business model. They're just going to keep doubling down, tripling down. Just like Fran said. It was 1 day early access, then it was 2 days early access, then it was 3 days early access, and it was 5 days early access. Okay? They'll give you a week. They'll give you a month early. How much are you going to pay for that? Beyonder says, I'm not losing sleep over $30 for early access. The game is good. Then it's worth it to me. Sure, Beyonder, but you're also paying for a game that's still not complete. Just know that. All the content's not in the game right now, and you have to wait 1 year to get all that in there. Now, if you want to pay for that, that's cool. Enjoy. Have a blast. Just know that you're paying full price for a product that's not fully complete. Kyle says this is how they get you. FOMO hits hard, especially with Forza. Travis says coffee tastes terrible regardless of price. So, yeah. Towerborn is out tomorrow. Yeah, Towerborn's out tomorrow. $25 for the Founders Pack on Steam, and then it comes out early access. I think sometime early next year, 2025. I would assume like January, February. Jojo says, I don't get the early access. I don't have the time to play 3 days early access most of the time. Not even have the time to play a normal release. They don't need a lot of people, Jojo. They just look at it and say, what percentage of people, whatever percentage that is. Let's say they say, we're expecting to make this many copies sold. Let's say it's 100 million copies, right? Or 1 million copies, 100 million copies, sorry. 1 million copies, right? They're like, what percentage of the 1 million people that are going to buy our game will play it 3 days early access? Probably like 10 to 15%, right? So 10 to 15%, they can make an additional $30 to $40 off of those people, right? So then they make more money. That's obviously. Now, are they going to get the majority of them? No. And that's the problem, though. The few are swaying what the industry is, right? The few, the Krakens that pay for microtransactions, that's why there's more microtransactions in games. The few that get the early access, this is why there's more early access and they're charging. First it was 20, Then it was $30. Then it's $40, all depending on what game it is and what they're doing with it. People complain that video games are getting too expensive, but then they go out and they spend $20 on one skin. So 3 skins would be a full price game. You know what I mean? And everyone can always justify in their head, well, I'm having fun. It looks cool. I don't care. But the bigger picture is that the companies see this and they say, well, we have a small percentage. Who cares about the 90%? The 10% are going to give us $100 extra. And that's who they're aiming for. Then, when a company can't make it, then they play the playbook of, well, this game failed because you guys didn't support it. Remember when early access would get you for cheaper price? Remember when games used to come out in early access and they would charge less price? They're like, hey, you guys want to play? Help us out early? Hell, Towerborn's doing that right now. Towerborn's a free-to-play game, though. Okay, it's a free-to-play game. But games, they go, hey, Minecraft did this way back when, before Microsoft bought them and whatnot. It was $4. It was $4 to play Minecraft. Hey, it's an early access. Help us build a game. Get us your feedback. That's like out there and out in the world. We need your help. We're putting a game out. If you want to help support the game, early access, here it is. AAA companies looked at this and said, wait a minute. You can put a game out that's not complete and people will give you money for it? That's genius, right? So the little guys that don't have the publishers and stuff are like, hey, you want to help us out? We'll let you play the game early for a cheaper price. And if you get in early, then it's cheaper. And then when the game comes out, we're going to raise the price. And everyone's like, yeah, that seems like a really good idea. Not AAA Gaming. AAA Gaming said, we're going to charge you full price for a broken, buggy, unfinished game that still needs 2 years to finish. And not only that, we're going to put microtransactions in there. Not only that, we're going to give you season passes and stuff with also more stuff to pay for. Oh, and on top of that, we're also going to give you a 3D early access for half the price of our video game. And everyone's like, yeah, that's awesome. Let's do that. Eclipse says, I just learned if you're a founder, they'll give you extra stuff every month that you're a founder. Right? Fortnite did this with early access for Save the World. If you purchased, and we went in, it was me, El Dente, and a friend of ours, Jesus Christ, Tally. All right, Tally. We all went in. We went together. We paid it $90 for the thing. We split the stuff or whatnot. And they gave you stuff. And if you were a founder pack, if you're still, to this day, 8 years later, if you're a founder of for Fortnite, then you can still earn V-Bucks, right? They're still giving you stuff, right? They give you stuff. Not anymore. Not anymore. They take stuff out and they're like, hey, by the way, this stuff's going to go in the game, right? I played the Jabba's Gambit mission. What a waste for extra money just for that one mission. I was like, that's the mission? That's the mission? I was like, come on. What's going on, Winzo? Winzo says, morning 30. Hope you had a good weekend. I forgot that Towerborn be out tomorrow. What kind of game did they say it was again? It's an MMO. It's an RPG. It's an open world RPG. It's a side scroller, open world. You can cross play, but there's no cross play because it's only on Steam right now. But it will be cross play when it comes out. Sarge says they don't need the majority, bro. Those people are just leaving money on the table, and if you know how the companies love money on the table. Oh yeah. Artemis says, now you have to wait 3 months to ensure it's patched or the game is not canceled. Right, and that's another thing, right? You're paying full price, and the servers are down. And I'm not talking about a specific game. You pay up front, early access, and the servers don't work, or something's wrong, or the patch, or they'll have to fix it. Meanwhile, you could go back right now and play a game that's a year old, and it's a better game than it was a year ago. Jojo says, basically, it's pay less to play later. For me, AC Shadows is going to be my first full-price game this year. Dark Taco says, which is sad because Minecraft is better than most AAA games when it was in alpha. I bought Minecraft for $3 Canadian back in the day. Now it's like $35. Right. That's why it's sold. It's sold so many copies. I have more copies of Minecraft than I know what to do with. I have it on my mobile, PC, console. The only one I don't own it for is the Switch, which my son is debating. He's like, I don't know if I want it for the Switch. I'm like, all right, well, I don't think you need it for the Switch, but okay. And it's cross-play, cross-progression. Eclipse says, man, I remember when Minecraft first dropped, it was so mind-blowing. I remember reading the magazine talking about Minecraft, and I was like, what the hell is going on for $4? Yeah, for $4. They had nothing. Nothing in the game. But it was just amazing. You could just go explore and see what it was, and it was really cool. It was cheaper. It was cheaper. Now you pay more. YouTube's being YouTube. If it starts to stutter, because I know I just hearing it. If it starts to stutter, just refresh. Some games like Warhammer don't just give you the early access, but it's also giving you the season pass, etc. Beyond, I don't know if you came into the conversation a little later. I said that specific games, like the games that give out their season pass for free, because the season pass that they're giving is just for skins and whatnot. Okay? The actual content is free. All the content is free if you purchase the game, the standard game for Warhammer. Okay? So in my early talk, I don't know if you missed it, but I said that games like Warhammer, Suicide Squads, and I forget the other game I mentioned, but it's the game structure of they're giving all the content for free. So you're not paying for that content. So you paying early access is not getting you anything more than just the game itself, which is an incomplete game, right? The Horde mode doesn't come in until 2025. They're adding a whole bunch of other stuff. I would have to go look up what the season pass. Let me look it up. I don't know. I don't remember off the top of my head. So season pass, everything is part of it, right? You're only paying for the skins. So the new PvE mission that comes in, right? The ultra wide support, that's free. Private PvE servers and lobbies, that's free. Okay, new PvE missions, lethal difficulty, the Neo Volk pistol, right? That's all included into the thing. Season 3 when it comes out, new PvE mission, new PvP game mode, new PvP arena, new enemy, PvE prestige ranks. Battle Barge expansion, Horde mode, new enemy, and new weapons. All of this is in the game regardless if you paid the full price of the 120 early access or if you get just the standard game. So the value of the game is there, yet people pay extra money just to play it 3 days early access, which is half the price of the video game. Dark Taco says, I have Minecraft on everything except my Switch Lite. I don't know what it is about. I was like, I don't want to get... I think what it is I don't want my son walking around the house just constantly playing Minecraft with the Switch. I think that's the reason I've not purchased it on the Switch yet. Artemis says, speaking of a Switch, why is Roblox not on the Switch? It would make a killing on Nintendo fixed it online access. There is a reason why it's not on the Switch, Artemis, and I forget why. I don't think Nintendo likes what they're doing with the online stuff. I think that's why it's not on there. There was talks about Roblox, like putting a dating thing inside of Roblox itself. The season pass is just skins. The actual content is free for everyone. Right. But do you guys not see a problem with this? Like missions and game modes and horde modes and stuff? Like that's not in the game. It's not in the game. The game was delayed a year. And you have to wait another year until the game is complete. If you guys don't see a problem with that, then I can't help you. I can't help you. He says the next will be just like Harry Potter movie. They'll bring out 3 games full price to get what you should have been in full game to begin with. Yeah, I could see that happening. 100%, Z. Waterbear says 30. Once you play Warhammer, you're going to see what Suicide Squad should have done in terms of combat style, gunplay, melee style mix, and very impressive. Yeah, I'm sure. I'll love to see it when it goes on sale or once all the content's in the game. Water. Ron Slusher says, imagine a fast food restaurant like McDonald's allowing 1 week early access to the McRib for additional fee. This early access thing might spill out. Oh, I'm sure it already has. We just haven't seen it with our own eyes yet, Ron. I mean, actually, it's already happened. Airlines do this, Ron. You pay like Southwest, you pay a little extra money to get into group boarding A. You know what I mean? Pre-boarding. How do you pre-board? How do you board before you board? But you pay a little bit extra so you can have the convenience of getting on the plane faster than the other people. It's already there. Dark Taco says, yeah, it's a big problem. They just asked pull half of that roadmap. It's horrible. I'm just happy the game base game is solid. Here's the thing. In a hypothetical world, right? Hypothetical world. What if right now Space Marines didn't sell well? Right? And again, I don't know what the sales numbers are, right? It comes out official today. But let's say it underperforms. It underperforms. And then they don't fulfill the roadmap. Other games have done this. They just cut it off, right? What happens then? Is at that moment, do people start to go, well, I had fun with what I had, right? Even though they promised you that, right? And even when they promise you, Suicide Squad's a perfect example, right? They tell you that all of these seasons are coming in, all these characters are coming in, and then no one plays the game. So now they're like, man, no one's really playing the game. Do they put their best foot forward to make sure that content comes out and it's like super smooth and great? No, they just kind of just toss it in. Look at Marvel's Avengers, right? When Bucky came into the game, nobody gave 2 shits. He's probably one of the worst characters in the game. Why? Because they knew the game was dead and they just had to fulfill the rest of the stuff. They're like, all right, let's just put that in there. But they're missing a lot of other stuff. They're missing a lot of other stuff that was supposed to be coming into the game. Paul says, so any game with DLC in the last 20 years was not complete games. No. Now you're just throwing it out there completely. There's DLCs, okay? And there's a difference between DLC where they have a full, complete campaign, okay? And then there's the DLC that comes out and adds to the game. And then there's the stuff that comes out and they remove it from the game. And there's a complete difference, Paul, when you see a game that's complete and it has a story from beginning, middle, and end, and then there's other stories that add on to it. And then there's a difference between it just abruptly stops and then the DLC finishes out that story. It's a complete difference. Most of the time, live service games they usually finish it and then add to it. But there are a few out there that don't finish it and then wait for the stuff, which is Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad didn't finish the story because it's free, so you're not paying for the DLC. You're just waiting for it to come in because they want people to pay for the microtransactions of the skins, okay? But don't come in here with the blanket shit of, oh, well, that means all DLC that came out means it's an incomplete game. That is just horse shit, and you know it. Are you going to trust us with the modes that are not planned? This is also to see charge for the money for modes that really want. Look, people know in games like this, for Space Marines in general, Horde mode is 1,000% really important to people. They love just slaughtering infinite zombies or whatnot. So why do they put that in Season 4? Why didn't they launch it with Horde mode? If it's free, why wouldn't they launch it with it? You're telling me the people that made World War Z don't know that a Horde mode is important? Is that what you guys are telling me? Oh, comes in. Mike, you know it's damn well only a problem on the masses when Xbox does it. Oh, if Xbox did it, it would be amplified 1,000 times, Mo. Dark Taco says, I think it would teach a lot of people to not buy early access if most people wouldn't care about the future promises being fulfilled if their cups are full. Space Marine Tune is not complete, though? It's not. It's not. It's not complete. This is not DLC. This is not. These are game modes. These are game modes, not story. Is there one thing in here that brings in more story? Let me see. Do PvP, do PvE missions, Season 3. So if you want to charge Season 3, sure. Sure. This thing right here, you could charge. That's a mission, though. It says mission, not missions. Okay? So I'm assuming there's actually no more story stuff, right? If you want to charge DLC like Borderlands and add more story to it, then sure. Okay? But adding game modes, removing game modes, and then putting game modes in later down the road and saying, oh yeah, well, this is DLC. By all means, go ahead. You can't sit here, Paul, and tell me that they don't know a horde mode is what everyone wants. Sit here and type with a serious straight face looking at me. I can't see your face. With a dead straight face and tell me as you type, oh yeah, they don't know about horde mode. They know fucking well enough to know that horde mode is what everyone wants to play in a game like this. Paul says, I guess the question is the release version worth the box price? No. No, it's not. But price and value are different for everybody. In my eyes, a 6-hour campaign, okay? Now, I can't throw away PvP, even though I wouldn't play it at all, right? Because I'm not really interested in the PvP. But the co-op missions of the 6 missions and the campaign, okay, and the PvP, is it worth the 120 or whatever the price was, 90, 100, whatever it was? No. Is it worth the 70? No. Is it worth the 60? No. Right now, if they came out and said, hey, if you want to support us, Space Marines 2 is coming out in early access, because that's all they're missing. Early access. Right now, for $40, you can play this and help us fix the game or give us feedback. I'd buy that day one. Day one. Because they're upfront about it, and they say, hey, we're not done with this, but we want to build it around you guys. You guys let us know what's going on. Cheaper price, and then build it as they go. But no. That's not what they do. Corporations love all the money up front, right? Give me $100 up front. Give me that $70, and we'll build it as we go. We're listening, okay? And then your servers don't work, right? And then there's bugs and glitches. Quintar says, not even ultra-wide support on launch. They put it on a roadmap. They're so lackluster of actual stuff to put on the roadmap, they have to put the ultra-wide support on the roadmap. Altern says, World War Z has 2 horde modes, normal and XL hordes mode. They know people love horde modes. Exactly, Altern. And that's why they put it to the end of next year. What would keep the dangling thing in front of you? What would keep that carrot in front of you to go, man, I love Space Marines. I'm going to keep playing it. You know why? Because that horde mode is at the end. Because if they put it up front, they know because their content was lackluster that they would put the Horde mode at the end because they don't want people to keep playing Horde mode and have fun. They want to make sure that you get it and pay for the season pass to get those skins and whatnot to get to the Horde mode 1 year later. Nobody can tell me with a straight face that they didn't know the Horde mode is what people wanted. They're the people that made the last game with Horde modes. What sort of mode could they make after release that would not class as a content? Game mode should be in the game, Paul. That is not content. Okay? Game modes, if you want to give me DLC in a specifically Space Marines 2 DLC, would be story stuff. Story stuff. Okay? The game mode stuff being put in, okay, is dumb, especially spreading across for 1 year. They're trying to make this a live service game when it doesn't need to be a live service game. Just make a game, sell a game. Just make a game, sell a game. There's the new emotes. Make a game, sell a game. You know who made a game? Stellar Blade. You know who made a game? Black Myth Wukong. You know who made a game? Astrobot. You know who made a game? Elden Ring DLC. The publisher will give them a budget and a time frame to release the game. You make the cut content and everything else and ship can be great. Or try to add everything and ship in. Remember, Paul, this game was supposed to come out in November last year. November last year is when this game was supposed to originally come out, and then they were like, it's going to come out before the end of the year of 2024. Oh, we pushed it, and they pushed it back. So do you think they cut content? Like, the content that they're working on for the season pass, do you think that's cut content from the main game, or do you think the content that they had down the road was cut and now they removed this and moved it into this year? We won't know that. It's all hypothetical, right? I love how Altered says, you know who make a game? Concord. And Jason comes back, you mean made a game. Oh man. Jag says, I miss when the most annoying thing in gaming were QuickTime events. Those were the days, wasn't it? Those were the days. Just that was the worst part about gaming. QuickTime events. Look, I'm not hating on Space Marines, okay? I want to make that perfectly clear. I didn't hate on Cyberpunk because of the game itself. I didn't like the company or the business strategy. I didn't hate Skull and Bones because the game is bad. I hated Skull and Bones because they tried to sell you a game that's incomplete, okay? I didn't hate all these other games because of the game itself. I despise the companies and the business models and strategies they have. And it never will change until someone speaks up. And if I have to be the small content creator that sticks by it, I will, because that's what I believe. Okay? I have no problem. Perfect example. Tomorrow, Towerborn comes out. Towerborn is a free-to-play game. Okay? I watched tons and tons of video of them showing off their game, what it was. They said there's an early access on Steam that's coming out on the 10th. For $25. It's a free-to-play game. It's a free-to-play game. But I like helping smaller studios out, okay? $25 Founders Pack. I was like, you know what? I'm a content creator. I think this is a cool game. I'll pay the $25. I'm not paying, right? Now, it's a free-to-play game. Okay? I'm giving them $25 so I can give them my feedback to that game. So I can write to the thing and go, yeah, this is good, this is bad. I like doing that stuff. I did it with Minecraft. I did it with Fortnite. I did it with Sea of Thieves. I did it with a bunch of stuff. Okay? Sea of Thieves I didn't pay for. I was just in the early access and whatnot. Okay? I'm okay with that. What I don't like is AAA game companies doing the same thing as independent companies that do it. Okay? And again, Towerborn's under Xbox Studios, which is a conglomerate company. I get that. Okay? But what I'm saying is, in general, when a independent developer comes out and says, Founders Pack and this, okay, help us make the game, cool. But now the big corporations have said, well, they can do it. We can do it too. That's the scummy part, right? Because the big corporations are not only doing the microtransactions, the season passes, the battle passes, the early 3-day early access, right? They're doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on the stuff. And perfect segue. When it comes to it, and they don't make a game and sell a game, it turns into you're the problem. Well, then I'm also your success, okay? Because if you make a game and sell a game, your game will be successful. Maybe, right? The baseline is make a game, sell a game. Then we decide if that game is good or bad based on the controls, the visuals, the graphics, the gameplay, whatever. Okay? And you can succeed or fail based on what they did once they make a game, sell a game. Okay? But no. Now it's put a name out there. We're not completed. We're not finishing it. We're not going to complete it. We're going to complete it a year from now, and we want your money up front, $120, $130. Okay? And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Look at the games that came out that are actually complete, right? I don't even have a PlayStation 5. I'm just reading the reviews of Astrobot, right? Watching people play Astrobot. And goddamn, that game looks fun. Imagine. Right? And it has nothing to do with PlayStation or Xbox. It's about making a game and selling a game. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. Make a game, sell a game, put it out there, and when people look at it, they go, this is a phenomenal game. It's a phenomenal game. Black Myth Wukong has its glitches and problems, but they made a game. They put it out there. And they have DLC down the road, but you know what they didn't do before the game came out? Try to sell you the DLC. They didn't try to sell you the DLC before the game came out. They made the game, sold the game sold really well, and now they're like, yeah, we have plans for DLC. Nate says, so you're okay paying for a game that's going to be free in a year, but it's bad to pay extra $20 for a game to play early. Nate, if you hear what you just said, that means everything I just said for the last, 40 fucking minutes just went completely over your head. If you can't see the difference between a game and early access that's making the game, they're in the process of making a game and want feedback, and they charge a cheaper price, okay? Or, okay, obviously a free-to-play game can't really be free-to-play. There's got to be something there, okay? So they're going to charge on microtransactions, okay? So if a company comes out and says, yeah, we want some feedback, and to play this game early, I have an option, and at least they're upfront about it, going, yeah, this game is not complete, and we're looking for people to give us feedback. And if you want to play this game, you can get into the early access with the Founders Pack. That is a completely different business model than a full AAA game company that charges $120, $100 for a game that you're waiting a complete year to complete. You're paying full price, more than full price, for a game that's incomplete. Yeah, I can't help you. You know what? Why don't you go buy more microtransactions from the First Descendant and not play it? I don't know what to tell you. If you can't see the difference. Crowded House says someone claimed that the video that 84% of the revenue these companies are generating comes from live service games. If that's true, then we'll never abandon these models. But this is not even the live service model, Crowded, right? The conversation we're having today is companies that are charging $30, $40 for early access, 3 days, 4 days. That's the conversation that we're having. That's the stuff that has to stop. The 3-day, 4-day early access. They're charging half the price of a video game for just 3 days early access. We know about the 84% that's going to make the revenue from microtransactions, from season passes, battle passes, microtransactions, whatever. All right, going from that, we're going to talk about 2 stories. Is it 2 stories? Might be 3 stories from Concord. I'm going to try to go through these pretty fast because I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I want to kind of talk about. I kind of want to talk about what's happening because now it's the aftermath, right? The game shut down on Friday. Okay, the game shut down on Friday. If you guys like what I do here, we cover news stories, have conversations. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you don't like it, hit the like button that you don't like it. I don't care. Hit a like, hit a dislike. It doesn't matter to me. Okay? Beyond that, become a subscriber. If you want to come beyond that, become a member. All right. So, Concord, since it shut down, there was a bunch of stuff that's happening where one of the people that came out, this is on a forums icon era. Okay? It says, since Sony acquired the studio, they should have laid off the leadership with no servants packages and also let actual devs retool the game into a free-to-play for a relaunch. Images say it all. Okay, so someone reaches out to one of the developers, one of the artists that made the game, and writes, this guy, Forrest the Rotten, does kind of want to try to redesign one of the Concord characters. Not to fix art or any pretentious bullshit. I just want to experience to see if it can find where I went wrong in the design. Also sounds like a fun thing to draw. I got GOT, Guardians of the Galaxy looking stuff, right? And then one of the artists comes out and says, I was going to DM you after seeing this, but this site makes me pay to do that. So at the risk of getting dogpiled, I'm just going to say this here. A lot of effect at the art side of Concord, including design by committee. Failure to some leadership is listened to the art team, etc. Let's break that down just for a second here. Okay. One, you can tell that she hates Elon Musk. Okay. Now, I don't know if that makes you a lefty or righty, but she hates Elon Musk. That's why she's saying this site makes me pay to do that. Okay. Not to get dogpiled on, but I'm going to open in an open public place. I'm going to put my opinions out there so I can play victim later. Okay. Then she comes out and says, I'm just going to say this here. A lot of affect the art side of Concord, including design by committee. Failure of some leadership is also to listen to the art team. Okay, so she's saying that there was a committee by art. The art was made by committee. Okay, the character concept art team, including myself, is going through extremely difficult times and emotional, and some of our team is no longer or will want to work in games, design characters, or even do art anymore after this because of this. Posts like yours, though understandable, are unfortunately ill-timed. None of us know which is the way the wind blows, or the way the wind will blow with the studio. It's worried, sick, and terrified for the future. Not only that, but you also have been shouldering the burnt of the emotional labor as executives and directors dodge most of the blame. Okay? Behind the scenes of all the talk about Concord and character designs, people's livelihoods are at risk, and there are real financial consequences that also might hurt us even more. That's just what I can say from our point of view. I'm not saying to change course or anything. Us artists like being able to do social media to promote our work and get more jobs. But I'm saying we see this, and it does absolutely affect us, and we're got your teeth kicked in. Well, here's the thing, okay? I've talked about this in the past, right? Sports is a great analogy to bring up from this, okay, for teams. This is why when teams in corporate offices do like team activities to get the team to work together, okay? Because if you don't have a cohesive team, if there's somebody that's the outsider that just starts to murmur underneath the breath of, oh, did you see what Todd's doing? I don't like Todd. Todd's an asshole, right? Todd's usually an asshole. Sorry if your name's Todd, okay? And then someone else comes in and goes, did you see Susie? Susie's doing this thing, and Susie, right? There's always these murmurs that happen. And this is why upper management is very important at these states, okay, in corporations and companies, because they're the filter. They're the filter between the higher-ups, and they're also the filter within the group, okay? They got to make sure that everyone's getting along with everybody. In team sports, if you have, let me take an example of LeBron James when he was on the Miami Heat with Dwayne Wade and I forget the other guy's name. Pardon me. Okay, Chris. What's his last name? You guys will probably tell me in the chat. Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh. Is that what his name was? When they all came together, everyone's like, "Oh, that's it. We're gonna win. That's it. Perfect." Now, obviously, they did win, but they didn't win right away. And why is that? Because they had their own personal Bosch. Thank you, Kylo. Right? They had their own personal, like, I'm better than you, right? They had their chips on their shoulders. They weren't working together as a team, cohesive team. Not until they actually started gelling together did they start winning. But then they got too big for their britches, and then they had to separate again, okay? So when a company, okay, thank you very much, Hilly, for becoming a member. Appreciate that. Thanks for the continued support. So when they became too big for themselves, then they destroyed themselves because they were too big. Their egos were too big and stuff, right? So now you're an artist. Now you're making art, right? You're making art. Now, you know what? I should bring this up as well. Let me find this because I posted it the other day in our Discord. And let me bring this up because did I put it in general? I think I put it in general. Right? I posted a video of what Concord, someone just did AI and just put it inside of, you know, the Concord guys, what they did, right? So let me bring this up real fast. Now, I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form this is the way they had to look. This is someone's views of what they could have done to be more appealing, okay? So when the girl's talking about it was made by committee, okay? So you as the artist, when someone says, I need you to make a garbage can, and you're like, well, I'm going to make a badass-looking garbage can, okay? And they gave us what they gave in Concord, and then someone in AI put the things in, and they made this, okay? Now, I'm not saying this is, you know, wanted, but I'll tell you what is definitely more attractive. Not that it fucking matters because it's a first-person shooter game that you can't really see yourself anyway. Okay? Now, there's other characters, right? Much more, you know, conformed where they don't look as sexy or whatnot. But you can see what AI has done, okay, compared to what the artist did inside the game. Now, this is why artists are scared shitless because, okay, this is why artists are scared shitless because look at the difference, okay? If an AI can do this, then why do I need someone that's going to be mouth backing towards me and going, well, this is not what I want, or this is what I... Like, you're trying to sell games, right? You're trying to make a game? Trying to make a game? To sell that game? Picture on the left, not selling a game. Picture on the right, selling a game. Okay? Picture on the left, not making a game. Okay? Not selling a game. Picture on the right, look, he's still big and bulky, but how much more appealing does he look, right? And again, these are just artists that created it through the actual AI, right? Didn't make him super, like, hot and smoking, but look at the design. The design looks much better than the one on the and this is just someone putting stuff in AI, okay? Look at the difference. You see what I'm saying? You could still do what you want to do, and you don't have to make them fucking ugly. She's aged quite a bit, huh? Right? Look at the difference. So to blame the artist in her tweets are saying, well, it's not our fault. Upper management's fault. And my question is, I think it's all your fault. As a team, you succeed and fail together as a team. Okay? Look at this one. This one is the most mind-blowing to me. Okay? Because she looks 1,000 times better, and she doesn't look super sexy, right? She still looks slanky, right? She's still got like the hunched shoulder type of thing, right? But she looks much more appealing, right? Look at this guy. I kind of like the face better on the original, but I like the body and stuff and the outfit better on the one on the right. Okay, because I do like his face. I don't want to always all human things. Now, obviously, this is AI type of stuff. Okay. Right? Look at this. Again, with this one, obviously it's AI. I'm okay with the face on the original character, but put the body of the one on the right. Right? Look at this. Same with this. You could have made her a robot. Obviously, the AI doesn't know to make it a robot. It just makes it human, so it makes it a human. Okay? Same with this one. I like the body on the right, but I take the face on the left. Right? I think his face model on this guy is fine. I don't think you need to change it. I think you could just put his head over on the one on the right. Okay? But look at the difference. Okay? Look at the difference of what's happening here. One, much more appealing. Okay? But obviously, because even me just bringing this up and showing this, I am sexist, racist, and misogynistic. Okay? By looking at stuff that people... I mean, look at that. Like, what are we talking about? Like, that looks 1,000 times better. 1,000 times better. Okay? So, the point is that if you're going to work on something, and you're working on it with a team, you might not like the team that you have. But if you lose your desire to make a game, right? And I know it's going to be a hard road for these people because now they're being demoralized, right? They're looking at going, the stuff that I've created, people didn't like. But if this is true and was made by committee, then they should know that that's not their work. That's their work that they were told to make. And if they were told to make it look that way and they did their job, then bravo, you did your job that your bosses told you to do. If you rebelled and made the artwork like I just showed you that the AI created, okay, well, then you wouldn't be doing your job correctly. But at the same time, your game might have been more successful. But the entire team at Firewalk Studios seemed like there was a lot more problems underneath the hood. So much so that we're going to go to the next thing, which was, this is being reported by Smash JT, who's another YouTuber on here. He's got 52,000 subscribers. This is his blog or whatever he has here. Okay. Now, this is from a while ago. Okay. This is from July, okay, of, I think, 2023. Okay. So Concord lead developer demands coworkers address her as professor. Okay. Before delving into or updated on August 25th, by the way. Okay. So this is so it was on July 23rd, not 2023. July 23 of this year, 2024. Okay. Updated in August. Okay. So it says, Deepwalk Firewalk Studios, I want to first invite you to join an exclusive group of becoming a smasher. So this is his thing. So join for $5. Okay. Firewalk Studios already under scrutiny for the beta release for what included myself calling the impending flop of Concord. It also grappling with significant internal strife, according to Whistleblower. Okay. These secret details shine a light on not just the optional failures or operational failures, but the personal dynamics that might be influencing the studio's output. He says, you get woke, go broke. Well, this is the places where the mind virus goes to mutant. Okay. So this is the person, Firewalk Studio behind the implementing Concord flop is serious internal issues. One of their developers, Lisa Brown, a.k.a., came out as non-binary and forced everyone at the company to call her professor. She would also regularly have meetings with cheesy phrases. Okay, let me read this again so we get this in context here. professor. She would also have regular meetings with cheesy phrases like teaching/learning with the professor. She pushed extreme politics, hated guns, and wanted the unvaccinated staff fired. This is just part of why Concord is such a delusional mess. Okay. So Lisa Brown, who goes by, which we already read, okay, something with also professional credentials for the details, okay? But here is when it gets real crazy. This change, according to the source, has led to enforced company-wide adjustments and address the interaction. Meetings have also taken a weird life of their own, criticizing the phrases like teaching/learning and learning with the professor, which the report has also not been universal as well received by the staff. But many of who work there are also afraid to speak up due to the very left-leaning political environment, and they also worked with the heavy persuasions to try to speak out. Okay, it says Brown's influence appears to extend into more continuous areas, and the whistleblower details of how Brown have also been vocal about the political beliefs, expressing disdain for guns. Yes, you read that right. The dev that doesn't have any affinity for weapons, yet worked on the developing for a squad-based hero shooter. This strikes me as someone who's probably isn't the greatest fit for it. I don't know, working on the team, that type of game. Imagine that you really don't want to be there. You don't like guns, but yet you're working on a game that's a hero shooter with guns. Okay? So the same thing happened with that Nick developer on Halo, and it's become a very strange trend. Not being a fan of guns would also be bad would be bad enough, but according to the sources, Lisa is also advocating for firing any unvaccinated staff members. These stances, like perhaps is reflective of personal convictions, are suggested to contribute to the divisive and uncomfortable atmosphere at Firewalk Studios. Now, remember that. Now, this is amazing because I didn't read this article. I don't read these articles beforehand. But you remember when I said that a team has to gel? And if Todd and Susie are all bickering with each other, it's not a very healthy place to work, right? Because they're not doing what they're told. They're doing what they think, or they don't like someone, or they don't like upper management, and they start undermining stuff, okay? That's this whole vibe right here, okay? The impact of these internal dynamics is speculated to be contributing to the factor to the lackluster performance of Concord during the beta release. I mean, let's be real. That $40 price point didn't do it any favors out of the gate, okay? The game initially envisioned by Sony as a major release has not come close to meeting even the lowest expectations, leading to Concord concerns about the studio's future prospects and management practices. Okay, the assertion made by the whistleblower are part of the broader investigation into the studio's culture and optional efficiency. Sorry, as it continues to gather the verified more information of more comprehensive reports available to those who have joined the Smashers. Right. So this is an ongoing investigation into Firewalk Studios and the employees working there. If it aims to uncover the layers of complexity behind the scenes, providing a clearer understanding of how personal dynamics and professional practices are intertwining, and also the shape of the future of Concord. For what we've seen so far, it's not pretty picture. Okay, so when you have a team that is not gelling together, you're not going to win championships. You're not even going to win matches. You're not going to win games. You're going to be dead last in the league, and people are going to forget about you. And that's what it seems like happened to this, right? It seems like more people, personal beliefs, or projections, right? Imagine someone working for a company that wanted everyone fired that was unvaccinated. Imagine a person that was working, a higher up that was working inside a company that didn't want to work with a game with guns because she hates guns. Like, I don't know. I ask you this, Professor. Okay. Why would you continue working on this? Why would you push this forward? Because they have money invested in it and they have to make it go. So now they put their stuff forward. We had a conversation last week with Greedfall 2. The artists were going on strike or saying they were going to go on strike because they didn't like what the upper management was doing. They didn't like what was happening. They didn't want to put their names on the project, right? Since then, I think they've come to an agreement or whatnot. Okay. I don't have that story today, but if more information comes out, we'll talk about that down the road. But these are people that are like, yeah, we don't want to deal with this shit, so we're not going to make the game. We don't want to put our name on this project. Now, this artist that we talked about, okay, on Twitter, that said that, you know, they're worried. Obviously, everyone's worried about their job. Even if you have a job right now, you don't know if you have a job next year, right? You gotta bust your ass. Like I've always said, you bust your ass every single day at your job because you don't know what's going to happen. And when the time does come where people have to get laid off, they look at it. Who's a hard worker? Who's not a hard worker? Who worked harder, Todd or Susie, right? And that's the way it works. So, was it the bad artwork that destroyed Concord? Not not solely, no. Okay? Was it a part of it? Yes. Was it part of the $40? Yes. Was it part of the no marketing? Yes. Was it part that the game itself didn't resonate with anybody as doing something different? Yes. It was all of these things. Okay? So, you don't get to play victim when you are the ones that did it to yourselves. You don't get to play victim, right? I make content. I speak from my heart, from what I do. This is what I do. I don't try to copy anybody else on YouTube. I'm doing my own thing, in my own lane, okay? I'm not successful. Am I blaming everybody else out there? No. I'm learning and doing stuff and working my ass off to try to make what I think is good content, to have conversations, okay? You don't blame everyone. You don't play the victim. You laid the groundwork. You did the thing. Now, you made your bed, now lay in it. Okay? Not every game, I say this all the time, not every game can be a bestseller. Okay? Blockbuster game, not book bestseller, no movie blockbuster, no video game, right? Just because you make a game doesn't mean I have to pay for it. Just because you make a game doesn't mean that everyone has to buy it, go out and make you successful, right? It's a very, very competitive world. No matter what you're in. I don't care if there's 3 people working at Wendy's and they're all working the fryer layer and they're trying to be the best goddamn fryer layer person in the company. Okay? Everything's competitive. Nothing is easy, and no one gives a shit if you're struggling because everybody else is doing their job struggling. Okay? So, sure, you need a shoulder to cry on or a hug. People are there for you. But to complain that the reason it failed is because of you, right? You, meaning you customers, not them making the product, is just insanity. Here's my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, please make sure you check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. Argus says there's plenty of examples to point out we don't and how it wouldn't work if anyway. It would also live if we tried. What is this to Argus? I missed it from what you're saying. Travis, we're talking about just the games, but humans' life and value itself. Not everyone in life is also the same value just because they're humans, nor do we actually act that either. Right. Right. The AI is just much better. Imagine the AI making that and then the artist taking that drawing that they've made and now put it into reality. On that number 4, it looks like AI is the main character, and the real one is to me is the cosplay of the character. Oh, in that, let me go back to number 4. You said. Oh, you're saying okay. So you're saying the one on the right you feel as the main character, and you think the one on the left is made by AI. It looks bad. It looks bad. Paul says the devs attacking people on social does not help. Yeah, and I get it though. They're upset. They're frustrated, right? I mean, that's what we do as people. We lash out. It's not good to lash out on social media though, right? You want to lash out, go scream into a pillow, right? Go outside and scream out into the void, right? Don't go onto the internet and put your stuff down on because the internet doesn't forget. Right? I was stressed this weekend. Right? I walked outside. I got away from everybody. I just walked outside and just sat down, just got my thoughts together. Right? That's what people do. That's not what people do now. Right? I'm upset. Let me grab a phone. Let me text somebody. Let me put it on the internet so everybody on the internet can then dogpile on me so everyone feels bad for me. Crowded House said, I've been saying this from the beginning, but the $40 price tag didn't kill Concord. The shitty, horrendous characters did. It's everything combined, Crowded. But get this. If there wasn't a $40 price tag, I think more people would have played the game and understand that the game is actually not a bad game as far as fundamental. Like, people like the gameplay. You're not wrong. The characters are horrendous. That is part of the problem with that game. But if it was free, I think they would have it would still be open right now. It would still be open because more than 700 people would have played the game on Steam. Why would you pay $40 for those horrendous characters? You see what I'm saying? Sarge says, so shocking, so unbelievable, so unprecedented. I am so surprised. El Dente says, difference between a team with real leadership and a team with managers. Yeah. Argus says, hairstyles, despite having complete freedom with the hair still, I don't know, says something. The others, they say, why did they do it? Imagine if they talked about your game, then your game's whole lifetime. Hey. Deadly Dad Gaming says, welcome, Deadly Dad. Imagine in 2024 having to teach people still that they are the natural consequences to their choices. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand. It's like somebody decides something, and it's the wrong choice. We all make them, right? We all make bad choices in life, okay? But to blame everybody else on your choices is insane to me. Nobody wants to take any kind of responsibility for their own actions. Ingrid says, the good points, all good points, but have you considered that it might be bigots? Going on, Kingard. Yes. Yes, I didn't even think about that. You're absolutely right. It could be bigots. Kingard has a video out. I just watched it. Kingard has a new video out. You guys should go watch it. Okay, he's a big fan of Remedy Studios and Alan Wake, and I'm not gonna spoil it. Go watch Kingard. Not now. Don't you dare go watch it now. No. Kingard's video goes out, and I feel sorry for Kingard, because in real time during Kingard's video you can see his love and then his thought process at the end of the video going, am I making the right choice? Should I still support this company? And it's a good video. You guys should go watch it. I don't have that luxury anymore, Kingard. I don't love any company that much. So I feel for you. In 1 week, I saw my son lose interest in Minecraft because of the Minecraft trailer. And 2, I saw Kingard lose hope for one of his favorite studios. I did, Eclipse. That's funny. I see. I'm scrolling down now and seeing. Yeah. No, I saw it. Hilly says, I judge a game solely on the game. I don't give a fuck on how it was made, and same with burgers. That's right. Is the burger good? You know what, Hilly? That's a really good point. Okay? When you have a steak or you have a burger or something, or whatever it is, right? The food looks in front of you like, that looks delicious. And you start eating it, and you're like, oh man, this is so good. You don't break it down and go, well, how does the kitchen look? Right? Because if you went into the kitchen, if you saw anything that looked kind of dirty or filthy or anything, you would start to go, oh, did I just eat that perfectly cooked steak off of that pan? Did they ever wash that pan? It's a steel skillet. You know what I'm saying? You start to nitpick on stuff. So it's all the fault of the professor, non-binary. Who have seen that coming? Later, Kinger. Roic says, I'm a design work, and if I don't like the way something is or I disagree with the encourage to you to speak up where I work. Yeah, that's the way it should be. If you're at a place, and especially if you're in design, okay? If a person says, I want you to make a picture of a phone, and behind the phone I want like sparks shooting out and all this other stuff, and you're like, okay, you listen to what was told to you. You're like, okay, now you as the artist get to make what they visioned, and then you look at it and they go, oh, I like that, but can you do this? And at some point they don't understand the difference between what the artist is doing, because it's easy to say something. It's easy to go, well, can you change this? But you as the artist go, well, no, that would take too long to do that. What about if we did this instead? And they go, okay, cool. And you have a conversation. See, that's the biggest thing that goes wrong or awry in the world today. Conversation. Everyone thinks that conversation is terrible. And conversation is the best thing in the world, regardless if it's anger, happiness, whatever. Conversation, if you keep it something bottled up inside, okay, especially if you're working with someone and you don't like that person or you don't like this, right? It goes terribly wrong, okay? Because you start hating what you're doing instead of talking it out and going, well, I don't really want to make that. What about if I make this? All right, give me 3 sketches and let me see what's going on. Altern says, your son not liking Minecraft, Kinger not liking Alan Wake Studio. What's next? Do we lose Star Wars to some DEI of... Oh, wait. That already happened. That already happened, Altern. Eclipse says, I was there watching the stream, and I could tell it hurt him bad. It actually happened when GXG was happening, I'm pretty sure. You're talking for what? My son? That was the week before he talked. He didn't come on the show this week. He didn't even see the trailer yet. Was the trailer out? When did the trailer come out? I thought the trailer came out last week. Travis says, wait, why doesn't he like Alan Wake Studios, who makes great games? Well, go watch his video. Go watch his video and he'll tell you why. Well, Dante says, I saw a post on Facebook that said that there was also making Brie Larson Reven, and also Star Wars, and also said that she's great. All my Star Wars tattoo. If Star Wars wants to lose more fan base, go ahead and put Brie Larson, because there was talks about making her Mara Jade as well, right? If you want to lose your fan base, by all means, go ahead and put Brie Larson as her. See what happens. If I have to work something out, I would rather call and talk to the person than try to do it all over email. Absolutely, absolutely, Roic, because you don't want to get people think you're yelling or being sarcastic or being something, right? I get that all the time. I'll text someone, they'll be like, "Why are you angry?" And I'm like, "How can you tell if I'm angry or not through?" Most of the time when I text something, I'm like laughing or having a good time, or I'm being a sarcastic prick type of thing. Deadly Gaming says, conversation helps weed out the bad ideas from good. 100% agreed. Yeah, 100%. Most people, gaming, will just sit there and stew. They'll be like, just Jason's idea. Instead of telling Jason, hey, Jason, I don't really like your idea. What about if we did this? And if Jason's an actual cool guy, he'll look at you and go, okay, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, your idea and my idea, and combining it together to make a better idea, right? But if you get one of these guys like, no, I said it, that's what it is. Be like, all right. I wonder if I could. I want to show you. I want to show you the new Minecraft trailer. Okay. Let me see if I can. Yeah, here's the new Minecraft trailer. We're gonna mute it. We're gonna mute it, and then I'm also going to try something here. I'm gonna try something here because I don't want to get demonetized, and I want to see if this works. So I'm gonna try something here. Let's see. Transform. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Transform, flip that way. I want to see if it does it. It's going to be backwards. It's going to be like mirror imaged. Because I want to see if it picks up something. So we're going to try that. Okay. We're just going to let this play. So this is somebody. It says, I reanimated the Minecraft movie trailer. Okay. I want to give the 12th hour. 12th hour has got 1.23 million subscribers on YouTube. Never heard of them before. Okay. Sarge sent me this morning. We're going to play it. I'm just going to let it play and see if you can see the difference in this Minecraft trailer compared to the original that just came out last week. What's the difference? I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. What is the difference of this Minecraft trailer compared to the one that we saw? I don't know. Chat, can you tell me what the difference is? I can't really see the difference. Amazing. What is the difference? Now, that trailer, okay, that trailer looks 1,000 times different and better, in my opinion. Let me put this back the other direction now. Yeah, Jason Momoa looks a little different. He looks a little different. Okay. Like, how does a studio not understand what the consumers want? How do you have one of the most successful games in the history of video games that is blocky, that looks the way it does? Minecraft is the way it is because of what it is, okay? Because people love, it's not about graphics or anything like that. And yet you put a movie out with live action inside of it instead of doing animated with the actual Minecraft characters. Like, I don't understand. It's mind-boggling to me. Now, if they keep it the way it is and it comes out, I personally think it's going to make $1 billion anyway because, well, we have people that buy $120 games 3 days early access. So why wouldn't Minecraft be #1 at the box office for multiple weeks? Because people don't care. They would rather support something they don't like to give it a try than go back to what Minecraft was and sell Minecraft for what Minecraft is. Because mom or dad will take their kids. The kids will be like, I'm ready to watch Minecraft. They sit there and the kids will be like, no, that's not Minecraft. Okay. But, you know, hey, we'll see. I personally hope the movie doesn't make $1 billion. Okay. I hope it just makes a couple $100 million and they go, oh, it was a failure. And everybody will be like, well, I don't understand why. I mean, Sonic changed Sonic the Hedgehog. It's a little different to change the characters they have here because, one, it's the whole entire movie, not just one character in the entire movie. So we'll see what happens with Minecraft in the future. The next thing I want to watch and talk about is Greg Owens. Now, we talk about Greg Owen. We've talked about his videos. He will be on our show this Wednesday. There will not be a game Shooting the Shit with Sarge on Wednesday night. We're going to be watching this today, but Greg Owen himself will be on the show 8 p.m. on Wednesday. We're going to have a conversation with him, talking about his YouTube channel, talking about Star Wars Outlaws and a whole bunch of other stuff. So it should be a good conversation. I'm really glad that Greg reached back out to me and we put it together. So he's going to be on the show. He just passed 60,000, I think 60,000 subscribers. Yeah, he just passed 60,000 subscribers. And he's almost already to 70,000. So good for him. Good for him. He makes really good content. So let's entertain. Let's watch this and see what he has to say. You get the music cut down. If you guys like what we do here, we do this Monday through Thursday. We just have conversations. We watch videos. We talk about articles. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. All right, Greg, what do you got for us today?
Sometimes happy when a bad entertainment product fails because it's a win for consumers. Now, typically, I
want to start it over again.
I am sometimes happy when a bad entertainment product fails because
we were just talking about Minecraft, right? I'm also happy when something that I don't want to succeed doesn't succeed, right? I don't want everything to fail, right? But if you're going to shit on something like Minecraft, like a Star Wars show, then by all means, go ahead and burn.
It's a win for consumers. Now, typically, I reserve this joy for when a company attempts to sell a low-value, low-effort, minimum viable product that they believe will sell on name recognition alone. They insult the customer by not even trying, and in most cases, blame them, telling them to like something they don't. In those cases, when I hear the joyous thunderclap of millions of wallets snapping shut in protest, when I see sales and viewer count charts that could be mistaken for a graph of Andrew Tate's interest in girls as they progress past 16, Then I make some popcorn, watching
and watch it burn.
the train wreck with glee, allowing the embers of said terrible product to warm the cockles of my heart in what the Germans like to call Schadenfreude.
You think this is...
I really like reacting to when we came across Kingard. I like Kingard's editing style. I like the way he talks. I like the way Greg edits his, and I like the way he talks as well. Completely two different content creators making really good content on both sides, and I just like their perspective that they have. Obviously, I like them because they have a bit of my perspective of video games and whatnot that's happening in here as well.
It's funny?
Well, Terry, it sure as shit ain't sad.
Such was the case recently with two pieces of would-be entertainment that only really deserve that term if we also start applying it to sloth races and Berkeley University slam poetry nights. Both are Star Wars properties. A show, The Acolyte, and a game, Outlaws, and a last-minute edition of a game, Concord. Shall I compare them to a latrine pit, both in their overall smell and the urgency with which we should bury them and move on? But before we do, let's have a laugh at these bad products getting exactly what they deserve. And
Greg's a really good writer. I like the way he does his writing.
hopefully you agree I deserve to have my like button pressed. Got him. No, I'm sorry. No, I heard it. I hear it. No. A few months ago, Ubisoft
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
announced a couple of games that look terrible. One was Assassin's Creed Shadows, which will see the franchise finally going to Japan and is arriving to the party about as late as the Borderlands movie, and seems like it was
True. Yeah, I think that how late Shadows is to Japan, you know what I mean? Like, why didn't they do this like years ago? Nope, but now Ghost of Tsushima came out, and Ghost of Tsushima is obviously not the same type of game, but obviously it's going to be compared to it, just because that's just the way the gaming culture does.
banking on the controversy of a black samurai to get attention. They even gave him a cool hip-hop track when he fights.
Greed cannot rule this village. Not while I have breath in my lungs and a blade in my hand. I said kill him.
Is that the real song that played during that? I don't remember that.
A blade in my hand. I said kill him.
That's racist.
Many aspects of that announcement have been criticized, but we'll find out in November whether any attention was paid to actual gameplay or if shock tactics were all that was supposed to move this.
That's true. Did they just, gaslight and do stuff to get people excited about it, or did they actually make a game? We'll find out.
This title. But we don't have to wait for confirmation that the quadruple A game, Star Wars Outlaws, is in fact terrible. And I report to you with a smile that sales are well below expectation. Well, below corporate expectation. I mean, I knew it was going to flop. For those of us with the superpower, or quirk if you like, of pattern recognition, it was quite easy to tell that this was going to be worth about $20, if it would be worth playing at all. But
Now, I've said this, okay? I'm enjoying Star Wars Outlaws, but I can also stand here and tell you that I totally get why it's getting shit on, right? Because obviously the stealth missions are bad, so much so, if you want to defend them, fantastic. But defend them knowing that the company itself is actually fixing them because they suck balls, okay? So I can also tell you that they think this game's worth $54 total at the max price. Because with the $18 a month, and if you get it and cancel it, and then get it and cancel it, and then get it and cancel it for the 3 DLCs or the season pass that comes out for it, that's how much that they're willing to give it to you at the lowest price, and they're still making a huge profit off of that, okay? And this is exactly the reason that they're doing what they're doing. This is exactly the reason they have this laid out in front of you right here of the $70, the $110, the $130, and the $18. Because that's how much they think their game is worth. Their game is worth $18.
Ubisoft had other plans. See, they're doing a lovely new tiered pricing system, where the base version of the game, the Broke Boy version, doesn't
The Broke Boy version. I love that he put Pokemon in there. What are you, broke? Can't afford my $20 cookies?
have all the content, and you have to sit in the penalty box for 3 days. You thought $70 was going to get you a whole game?
Look, I don't do this on purpose. I love the fact that I brought up the Space Marines 2 stuff. Okay, again, it's nothing about Space Marines, the game itself. It's the business model. And then we're watching a video that I haven't watched, haven't seen, and yet he brings up the exact same point for Star Wars Outlaws. Let me rewind this a little bit.
Base version of the game, the Broke Boy version, doesn't have all the content, and you have to sit in the penalty box for 3 days. You thought $70 was going to get you a whole game? I'm sorry, that's just the cover charge. $110 lets you play it at launch, or what they tried gaslight as early access, plus the pieces of the game they carved out.
Just to make you sure, he's not rewinding this clip. This is what's happening.
So they could sell them back to you. That would be an extra mission for Jabba the Hutt and the planned DLC that also should have been in the game, but they held it back to create the illusion of value. Finally, they had a $130 version that also came with some digital clothing. Or you
What? Digital clothing? Sign me up, Greg.
could just sign up for Ubisoft Plus and you'd get all that useless crap for a paltry $18 a month and hopefully forget to cancel. Yeah, that's the game here. See, the other prices are a manipulation tactic to
That is right. God, thank you, Greg. It's going to be a great conversation on Wednesday, let me tell you.
funnel you into a subscription service that seems to be a better value. It's called price anchoring. But beyond the pricing tactics, the announcement came with no gameplay for the video game that they wanted you to pre-order. It did have a cinematic trailer, and even that looked like they accidentally used footage from a Star Wars game from 10 years ago. Plus, the company has a long track record of making bloated, boring games. Now, I was going to play it just to be sure, but I realized that's not even necessary. And anyone who tells you that you have to try everything before you can say that it looks bad is a moron.
That's right. Right? And I can tell you that obviously if you're a Star Wars fan, and no one's going to change your mind. If you're a Star Wars fan, by all means, go ahead and buy the game. Okay? But if I was you, as a content creator, making content, letting people know, I don't make content like other people. I don't make a video, put it out there and say, watch my review, do this. No, my content is come and watch me play the game, ask questions as we're playing the game, and I'll give you my honest opinion during the gameplay of the game. And it changes as we play. Okay? If you're not a Star Wars fan, you don't need to play this game day one. You don't need to play or own this game day one. I would suggest waiting, and if you have to play it, then give them the $18, but make sure you cancel the same day you subscribe to Ubisoft Plus.
Besides, I'm already enjoying both a replay of Dark Souls 2, which I'm happy to report is better on the second time. Here's my character, Theodore Roosevelt. I'm never taking this armor off. Look at his little coffee cup. Me and 2 million other people are also playing Black Myth Wukong, which is very good thus far, with a couple critiques, but I'm also not done with Chapter 1, so take that with a grain of salt. But when Outlaws dropped, I was also suffering through the first 3 episodes of Rings of Power Season 2, and
Oof. Oh man, I might watch his review of it because I've never watched the show at all. I watch like Neurotic, Critical Drinker, and other people, Disparu on shows that I don't want to watch, and I laugh more watching them criticize the stuff. So I might watch Greg. Greg just did a review of The Acolyte. It's better than the actual show. Like he breaks it down really nicely.
I'm only gonna endure one piece of crap at a time.
I'm not strong enough.
I did, however, keep tabs on the previews that Ubi was putting out, and now the final reviews. It doesn't even feel good to be as right as I am about this game, and have been since the day it was announced. To say that I feel good about being right would imply some kind of relief, or possibly that
Yeah, the characters are as dumb as possible. Right? He says, this isn't from a mocking montage. This is just real gameplay.
could have been wrong. And betting against this game was like betting on a coin toss where you win if the coin comes back down. Of course it's bad. It always was. Outlaws sounds like typical Ubisoft with zero attempt to improve it. It actually sounds like a Ubisoft game from a decade ago. But nevertheless,
Is that guy sleeping, standing up? How does he not see him? See, when I know exactly where he is in the game. Or wherever this person, the Brad, I went around and killed him first instead of killing the guy because obviously that guy's back is towards us, so he wouldn't see us. Because obviously I was afraid, which now I know he doesn't actually even wake up here, because obviously that guy can see you, right? He can see you, right? He's got to be able to see you.
regular Ubi
If not, the Empire needs to Like, change the helmet style up, because, my God.
Game with a Star Wars skin this time. We all have our favorite genre, so there might be some folks who enjoy the comfort food of a familiar game. This game is the chicken strips of video games for those people who enjoy the Ubisoft open world cluttered UI experience. I get it. Some people order them everywhere, but you don't pay a premium for chicken tendies. The very best that can be said about this game is that it is painfully average.
Well, you can pay premium price, Greg, for chicken tendies. I mean, what about if you get them 3 minutes early, maybe 30 minutes early? Maybe you want to get dinner for your son and they get to eat first. You pay a premium price for it. I don't know. People might do it.
Average. It is a minimum viable product. Yet even now, this video will garner comments telling me, oh, come on, it's not that bad. As though that is some kind of compliment. I'm getting the same thing on Rings of Power Season 2. This game is a 4, but people will tell you to be more generous and give it a 5. Oh, well, in that case,
I never had any of this happen. I've had one glitch. It was on stream with you guys, which when I took out the officer inside the ship, and that was early on in the game. I would say about a couple hours, like 3 hours in, 4 hours in. I think it was the first stream we did. Maybe it was the second. I knocked him out, and yet he was still talking the entire time.
I'll rush right out and pay full price. Here's a small clip that I saw of Asmongold playing it. I'll link it. It's only 2 minutes long, but you really should watch the entire thing.
How do they not see him?
The main character is in a base of some sort, but this
God's
patch
sakes.
of sea oats is growing inside of it for reasons. The enemy AI is hilariously bad, and no one can find or hit the character when she is super hidden in this bush.
God.
Indoor.
See, you know why I don't get stuff like this? Do you know why I don't get stuff like this? It's because I don't play like this. I literally hide behind boxes and methodically like take out each guy because I don't want to ruin it for myself. But you can see that you could just do this.
There are numerous complaints about the fact that the character can't carry enemy weapons up a ladder or while sliding or while doing anything, really. This game features a
Where is this? That's not even... That's glitched out.
reputation system for the various gangs you have
Where
to deal
is
with,
this?
but has about as much impact as a full-force punch from a toddler. Then there was the gameplay footage that the company themselves put out that had enemies standing around.
Crowded says, you guys just don't get it. You can't see her because she's such a badass. It's exactly what it is, Crowded. It's exactly what it is.
Not even trying to hit you. Gunplay that looked terrible. The gameplay mechanics felt incongruent, painting you as a smuggling scoundrel who only has a pistol, so you better use your wits. But then also as a one-man army, blowing up whole bases, taking out 2 or 3 dozen enemies with that pistol. The textures themselves appear to be straight from a PS3 title, and
Yeah, you know why they didn't show? In all the stuff they showed, they never showed the actual chase scenes or why you're on the bike or anything like this, because this stuff here is exactly how they're showing you. You kill people, they fly off in weird directions, they run into things. This needs to be fixed inside the game.
let's not forget about the bug montages. This game has so many bugs. Even Todd Howard is looking at this game like, wow, these clipping issues are pretty bad. But beyond the basic gameplay, with its horrible enemy AI, its insta-fail stealth missions, its overused lockpick mechanic, its terrible speeder controls and combat, its bad shooting mechanics, aside from those things, the company still remains as scummy as ever, and console players who paid extra to get this game early.
And this is what I always talk about. It's not about the games. It's about the business models of these companies. I will die on this hill. I will defend against these corporations that try to get money out of your pocket for incomplete product.
Actually got the beta version, full of bugs. One of those bugs needed a patch that required them to start the game over.
Full refund. Full refund. I already talked about that.
Completely. They paid at least $40 extra for the early version, spent hours playing that buggy inferior version, then downloaded a patch that reset their progress back to the start. Not to fear though, Ubisoft made good on it by giving them 100 units to the Ubisoft Rewards store, which can be redeemed for in-game items, or 20% off a future purchase.
Don't do it.
That is
Don't
also
turn
a
on.
scam,
Don't do
by
it.
the way, designed to get a foot in your door. And use the Ubisoft store for your next purchase, where you will then get a little more of these units. As all digital currencies are designed to, this makes you feel like you should buy more, because you're already more than halfway to your...
That's right. That's right. They give you in-game currency, which is bullshit. It's another stupid fucking corporate stuff. Oh, we fucked up on our end, but we're going to give you not your money back, because why would we give you your money back? We're going to give you a in-game currency. We just happen to have this cosmetic item that we had in the background that we didn't put in the game that we're going to put in and give you guys. Awesome. And on top of that, we're going to give you 100 of our Ubisoft Connect coins. Don't forget to link up your account so we can give you yet another cosmetic item that we didn't put in the game just for this reason alone, just because we knew something was going to happen. By all means, thank you for supporting us, and thank you very much for your $120 and your waste of time. Here you go with your trinket that's on a handlebar that's like this big.
Next 20% off coupon. This process of always leaving you with a tiny bit of currency is called breakage. It's exactly the same as Old Navy or Kohl's Cash.
Yep. Keep coming back. You spent $10 with us? Well, you have a $5 Kohl's Cash card to come back again.
Bloated games in the subscription service make you feel like you should keep playing them because you already invested time. Why not finish it? And then that results in another month of the subscription. That's the sunk cost fallacy they bank on. Guys, the psychological manipulation of the games industry right now is insane. But as I said, this title is not selling well, and if I had a tail, I'd be wagging it, because I get excited when a company like this tries to manipulate their audience and give them a terrible product, and it backfires. The company stock just hit a 10-year low, reflecting their trend of laziness. This is an absolute win for gamers and consumers in general.
I hope so. I don't want to count the eggs before they hatch.
More people need to view themselves as businesses and treat their own time and money as capital. And
I do agree with that 1,000%. 1,000%.
viewed that way, this game is a terrible investment, and it is good that fewer people are making it. In other Star Wars...
I'm sorry, I gotta
investment,
what is
and it is
here?
good that fewer people are making it. In other Star Wars news, Sam's Club is selling this Lego set with an X-Wing and a TIE Fighter, and you can take the wings off and you can... I don't know why you would...
Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Want to do that, but you can. As soon as I build these, they're going to go on the shelves behind me.
I'm so happy.
In still other Star Wars news, you've probably heard by now that The Acolyte was canceled, or not renewed if you're coping especially hard. Once again, I bring you this news with a grin that, unlike most book characters, does reach my eyes. A massive company ignored what their customers wanted and thought the almighty brand was powerful enough to make them show up to the slop trough no matter how bad the product.
Don't think so, Charlie. Even the pigs won't eat it.
I am brimming with glee to tell you that the audience grew some self-respect and standards and refused that trash. Here to explain why it was canceled, the show's star Amanda Stenberg reporting. Amanda.
For those who aren't aware, there has been a rampage of vitriol that we have faced.
It's so depressing. It's so depressing. Your writers sucked. Your writers sucked. This is nothing against you specifically, Amanda. Okay? You're an actor. You acted, right? Your character sucked. That's not saying you suck. I mean, you actually do suck as a person because of what you've done, but not because of the Acolytes, what you've done to the fan base after they didn't like the stuff in the Acolyte. Okay? Like, people can't... Like, these are the same people that defend, I paid $70 for a video game, so now I have to defend it to the world, right? She's an actress. She's an actress that acted, and people didn't like the product that she was in. And when they say that the character's bad, we're not saying that she's bad. Now we're saying she's bad because of what she did with the music video and everything else, and I don't even know what she said here. We'll listen to it in a second. But that is the reason that we don't like the show. We don't like the show because of you, because you're black, even though you have I think a Dutch father who's white, right? So you're not even full black. You're Milano, and you're also whatever. But anyway, we don't care what your sexuality is. We don't care what your race is. We didn't like your character. The character sucked. The writing sucked. The show sucked.
since the show was even announced, when it was still just a concept and when no one had even seen it. And that's when we started experiencing a rampage of, I would say, hyper-conservative bigotry.
Of course, yeah. Hyper-conservative bigotry. Yep.
And
not bad writing.
And vitriol.
Not bad acting.
Prejudiced hatred and hateful language towards us. I just want to let those people know out there who supported us in that way and supported us vocally.
Thank you, everyone, for supporting us, all of you. That wasn't enough for the show because companies are here to make money. There wasn't enough of you to make money for the show. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. Oh, wait. 98% of the people that didn't watch the show were the people that actually wanted to watch the show but weren't interested in the show because they were called bigots, racists, and sexists? Got it.
Despite and in the face of all of the vitriol that we received and the kind of the targeted attack, I would say, we received by the alt-right.
Not only did she clearly learn the word vitriol the day before
oh, God.
that video was made, but Amanda has also gone to the Children's School for Arguing, where you paint your opponents with a broad brush instead of hearing what they actually say. Before we knew anything about this show, we knew this. This article was one of the first things anyone saw about it. Before casting was done, before the script was written, we're talking bare bones early stages. The showrunner Leslie Headland said that her queerness will seep into the script. It can't be helped. When the actors appeared at the big convention a year before the show came out, we got immortal sound bites like this.
My character,
yes.
you know, she's a powerful leader. She's a powerful leader. Yes. In a very woman-centered world, which I...
Remember when Star Wars was just Star Wars? Remember when Star Wars was just Star Wars? Remember when you talked about the characters of Star Wars? Luke, Han, Leia, Darth Vader, Boba Fett. Yes. I remember talking about that stuff. Not the characters behind.
Well, I was very excited to kind of be in that, because I feel like Star Wars is very, like, patriarchal, so it was kind of cool to have, like, this sort of woman-centered figure.
Yeah, they praised the show's diversity. Said Star Wars has always been very patriarchal. Said it's never been safe for women and people of color before, and they also displayed...
I have a question. Who in chat likes Star Wars, loved Star Wars, the original 4, 5, and 6, and you're not white? Anybody in chat? Anybody in chat that's not white likes Star Wars? Because obviously, not Greg's not saying this, obviously, but they...
Yeah, they praised the show's diversity. Said Star Wars has always been very patriarchal. Said it's never been safe for women and people of color before.
Never been safe for women and people of color. Right? Like, imagine. Do you know the difference is that Disney doesn't understand because they didn't own it. Lucas did. And Lucas, everybody loved it. You could literally go back to 1977 when the movie came out and show, like, the people that went to the theater, and there was women and men of color and Hispanics and Chinese people, and all races, genders went to go see the movie. You know why? Because it was just a movie. It was just a movie. And then people fell in love with that movie. Then people fell in love with the characters of that movie. And then they made a sequel of Empire Strikes Back. And then they made another sequel of Return of the Jedi. And then it was the most watched profitable film for decades until like the late 90s. Okay? Because the fan base was everybody. It was everybody. Everybody. There was so many people that loved Star Wars. And then Disney bought it and said, all of these people... Yeah, we need to get these people over here. The people that play with Barbies, these people hate Star Wars. So we need to get this 5% of the audience with this 95% of the audience. We need to push these guys aside because this is a bigger fan base. Ta-da!
before, and they also displayed a complete lack of understanding of morality.
I mean, the best parts about Star Wars is there is no good or evil. Depends on what side you're standing on, truly.
Nope. Wrong.
The only thing anyone ever said...
Oh, man. What a great clip to put in. Let's watch that again.
Lack of understanding of morality.
I mean, the best parts about Star Wars is there is no good or evil. Depends on what side you're standing on, truly.
Nope. Wrong.
The only thing anyone ever...
That's exactly right. Wrong.
ever said about the actual show at hand was that it was going to explore the dark side, give us a view into the Sith way of thinking, which does sound really cool. And it didn't do that. So Disney has developed a track record of poor quality Star Wars shows and movies that rely more on key jangling than storytelling, and this new show was announced and the actors and writers involved couldn't stop talking about the superficial qualities the show would boast. The audience said, "We want some Star Wars," and the folks
Hey, there's actually stuff in his cup. I just saw a splash come out when he moved the cup.
making it said, "Look, it's got diversity." There was a complete disconnect between what the audience wanted and what the show was serving. So, no one showed up to watch.
Right.
No one showed up to watch the most expensive Star
It cost $630,000 for every minute of screen time. Given that The Acolyte was estimated to have a $180 million budget before this, the 8 episodes are about 40 minutes long on the average. That would actually push it closer to $200 million. Maybe deduct a bit for some of the minutes of opening or closing credits, but yeah, probably right around $180 million for 8 episodes.
Wars show ever made. So the company that funds it didn't want to fund any more of it.
Just to let you know, Godzilla -1 cost $6 million. $6 million.
And I am baffled at how anyone is confused by this. Naturally, when it did fail, the usual suspects were blamed. Incels, racists, phobes. And as usual, it revealed the ego behind the scenes because they think it's your job to tune in, not their job to entice you. And honestly, even
I want to listen to that again because that's exactly right? Here's the thing. I go live every day, right? I go live every day, and I try to make it entertaining. I try to bring up different topics. I try to bring up stuff, get chat involved. I try to entice you to keep involved with the channel, right? I don't assume that, yep, everyone that was here yesterday is going to be here today. Everybody that watches, no. I do what I do. They think because they make product, right, that, well, we made it. How come no one's here? Everyone should be here. Oh, they must be bigots.
it did fail, the usual suspects were blamed. Incels, racists, phobes. And as usual, it revealed the ego behind the scenes because they think it's your job to tune in, not their job to entice you. And honestly, even I fall victim to playing along with their little narrative. I'm here saying that people refused to watch this show or buy that game, as though we should assume anyone was going to by default. You and I didn't buy or watch lots of things today for many reasons.
Right. Just because I didn't watch the news today doesn't mean I'm racist against the news. Just because I didn't watch a cartoon with my son doesn't mean I'm a bigot and racist because of the cartoon. It just means I don't want to watch the cartoon. I don't want to watch the news. I don't want to watch that movie or show. I don't want to partake in that. It doesn't interest me. It doesn't look like it's good.
Why do we describe it as we rejected that thing as though it was a given that we should accept?
Exactly.
And now we're breaking the mold? It's that subtle language that gets you. Even the istophobe excuses don't make any sense. If somebody genuinely believed that the Star Wars audience really was a racist mob of misogynistic homophobes, but they go ahead and make a show anyway that will send that army of straw men over the edge, frothing with rage, then who's the dumb one, really? These folks cry online about the whole audience having a nut allergy, but they made peanut brittle anyway.
That's right.
That's not a really good analogy, because peanut brittle is delicious.
It is delicious.
This show is not peanut brittle. Whole audience having a nut
Right. Because then if this show is peanut brittle, then people would actually enjoy it.
allergy, but then they brought pecan pie, which is disgusting. I will not hear otherwise. The largest Star Wars YouTuber on this platform, Star Wars Theory, has been very critical of the show and is repeating.
He's the most laid-back Star Wars Theory. I would love to interview him. He is the most laid-back dude I've ever seen, right? I've never met him in person. Just watching his stuff and all the stuff that he gets shit on for, he is just so like level-headed, right? Like his blood pressure is just constantly just solid, right? Most laid back, really smart. Like he just stays super calm and focused on when he goes against people.
Again and again and again, make your logical arguments on why the show is bad. Please don't stoop to insults and identity politics. So I took that advice. It was a terrible show from a writing standpoint, and if you've got 2.5 hours to spare, you could hear me talk all about it.
His video for 2.5 hours, I watched the tail end of it. He was live. That's actually how I got in contact with him again, because I sent him an email, and it you know, he's busy, so because he does this, he's got his full-time job, and he's got family. And I went to his live chat, and I was like, oh my god, this is great. And I watched the tail end of it, like the last 45 minutes. I went back, I was like, I had to watch the rest. It's fantastic. If you have time, go watch his breakdown of it. It's really good.
I'll link it below, or it'll be in a box right here at the end of the video. Not once during that video does Amanda's race come up, or
That's correct.
Manny's. The only mention of race is a joke about Seoul's name seeming like a race joke because he's Korean, and there is 1 minute where I wonder how the lesbian showrunner Leslie Headland managed such an own goal, making lesbians and fathers' homes look so terrible. Everything else, though, is about the plot, character, dialogue, visuals, and I didn't even dig that deep. If you're wondering if the show could possibly be that bad, or if it's just a victim of the culture war, I filled up 2.5 hours dissecting its technical components, and I left a lot out that could have gone in.
He could make 8 episodes at 2 hours apiece.
They made a poor product, and that product failed.
Yep.
Don't be shocked. You're shocked? You're shocked?
But now we have sudden virtue signals about how amazing the show was and how unfair it is to cancel it. Acolyte's sudden defenders feel very much like the sudden Kamala Harris fans who apparently didn't know who she was back in the cold winter of 2019 when she couldn't find 2 donors to rub together for warmth and didn't even make it to the first primary. Also, that petition to renew the show, that's fake. My channel email address was used for one of the submissions. I got this thank you from change.org for...
Yeah, they don't verify anything for this. This is literally like 10 people making as many emails as possible so it looks like more people are interested in the actual show.
Signing the petition to renew the Acolyte, which was quite a surprise to me. For those of you that think change.org means anything, they don't even verify the emails that are used to sign these petitions. Last bit of good news, the game Concord is being completely shut down after being live for 2 whole weeks. The day this video comes out, it will be turning its servers off, which is amazing. It is reported to have sold maybe 25,000 copies, and on its launch day, it had its highest number of concurrent players, peaking at 697. There's no 1,000 after that. It was just 700 people. For comparison, a game people were actually looking forward to, Black Myth Wukong, had over 2 million players that week. They worked to deliver a solid action RPG.
That's a lot of racists. It's a lot of racist and misogynistic people that didn't play Concord and went to go play Wukong instead.
That would appeal to fans of titles such as God of War and Dark Souls. They didn't mention anything else. They just said, we heard you like these games, and we made a high-quality product to
make a game, sell a game.
Tastes. Concord, on the other hand, lazily tried to copy existing hero shooters without innovating at all, and charging for it where other games in the genre are free. They included character models that are not appealing, and the gameplay was...
So they're not going to tell you those numbers, Travis. The game literally actually comes out today.
Sluggish and not enjoyable. After its open beta in the summer, which saw the peak player count cut in half from Thursday to Sunday, falling from 2,400 to 1,100, it was widely panned as being unfinished and not worth playing, even if it were free. Then it launched for $40 and failed. Sony bought the studio working on it, obviously thinking they could slap yet another live service game onto the market and rake in the cash. No attempt was made to serve the players, so they passed, and I'm ecstatic. I appreciate that you spent some of your time here with me, and I'm excited to see more and more of you being conscious about where you spend your time and your money. Make these companies work for you,
exactly,
not the other way around. If you are interested to hear a critique of the atrocity that was The Acolyte, that shockingly doesn't contain the word woke even once, because it doesn't need to, you can click this box.
Go check out that video. It's very, very good. Right? If you like the writing side, Greg is a very good, he breaks it down really good.
Right here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time. I am...
So that is Greg Owen. That's his video. I'll give it a like. If you're not subscribed to him, go check him out. He went from 60,000 people just like a week ago to he's almost at 70,000. So he's growing, and he's giving us his time. So he's coming on the podcast on Wednesday night. It'll be Greg Owen and myself. I'll ask Greg about his YouTube channel, what he did before or what he's doing, because he still works a full-time job. How he balances YouTube with his family, and how does he he's a very good writer. Very good writer. So if you guys are interested in getting more people out there, other content creators that you might want to speak of or listen to, go to our feedback or go to our Discord and put some people in there that you would like me to reach out to. Because I love talking to people. I love having conversation. I don't know if you guys knew that. I don't know if you guys knew I love having conversation. But I love having conversation, and I love talking to other YouTube content creators, not only because I get to learn, because I like to learn something new every single day. Okay. And talking to other people, you learn that. You learn maybe something I'm doing wrong, or something that maybe I didn't even think of before as YouTube, right? Listening to other people's stories and how they got introduced to YouTube and stuff, might trigger something in me, right? To motivate me to do other things. So that's why we're talking to other YouTube content creators. We've talked to Jay Shockblast, we've talked to Kingard, we've talked to Ginger Prime. Okay, so I would love to talk to more people. So if you know somebody out there, doesn't matter how big, how small, send me a channel. Let me know, and then I'll try to reach out to them. Because I have another guest that we're trying to get. I don't want to announce the person yet. They just surpassed 100,000 subscribers. I'll give you that if you're following along. But yeah, I'm trying to get a lot more people on the show. Sadat the Gamer. I don't know if Sadat would come on. I don't know. I could reach out to him. He grew fast as well, from when he was just doing from Twitch to then when he went to YouTube. He grew really fast. You know what's really hard? And I'm not saying because of Sadat, but a lot of people don't have an email to contact them. It's super hard to reach out. And it's I don't know where to reach out for them, right? Some people have emails, some people have Twitter, some people have whatever to try to at least send an email to them. A lot of people don't have any contact information. So it's you have to know somebody that knows them or reach out to some, but it's impossible. Then as another thing, a lot of people don't want to give me time, because they look at my channel, and because I'm a minuscule, infinite nothing of a channel, okay, in the grand scheme of YouTube, okay. Even though I've been doing this for years, I've had multiple channels, and I've dropped them and whatnot. I had Twitch and then Mixer, and then back to Twitch, and then over here. I'm such a small content creator. A lot of people, and I'm really blessed that Jay Shockblast, who's got over 300,000 people, came on and talked to me. Ginger Prime, who's pushing I think 80,000 people now. Kingard, who had 30,000 people. Greg Owen, who just surpassed 60,000. Right? We have another person that we're trying to talk to, over 100,000. For these bigger content creators to give me just a chance to just contact them, because I'm not contacting them to try to use them to springboard my, even though you can say I am. It's really because we watch their content, right? We watch their content, we comment on them. I like the way they make their content, and I want to have actual conversations with them. You know what I mean? Artemis says, as I see the title of today's show, maybe tomorrow, PlayStation 5 Pro announcement will reintroduce Concord as a packed-in game system, pack-in for game for the system. Oh, so you think they're going to repackage it and put it in? The reason I didn't talk about PlayStation 5 leaks or anything yet is because it's just that, right? I'm waiting to see if they announce something. Obviously, if they announce something, we'll talk about it. Yeah, Ginger Prime's a good guy. Brian's a nice guy. I love talking to him about the comedy stuff that he did. I'm always amazed, right? Because I have one kid. And balancing life YouTube, and like just everything in general is a struggle for me. Greg, I think, has 3 to 4 kids. Ginger Prime has, I think, 5 to 6 kids, right? Like, I'm amazed that not only does Brian, Ginger Prime, have a full-time job, but he has a YouTube channel. He's got his whole family. Greg, full-time job, right? Successful growing YouTube channel, and he's got a large family, right? Kingard, full-time job, and growing his channel, right? There's a lot of, for me personally, inspiring, because it's hard. It's a hard balance to do this, right? And they're doing a full-time. I don't have a full-time job. My full-time job and career, I would be traveling all over the place, and I don't want to do that anymore. I want to try to make this, and I really like talking to people. I really like having conversations with people. Yeah, he's got 6. I know it's a newborn like a couple months ago, right? Like 6, 7 months ago, his 6th kid was born. Maybe it's older now. Or maybe it was over the summer. I forget. Nonetheless, I'm amazed by how these people juggle all the stuff. What else we got here? Here's something I just pulled it up from Critical Drinker, right? These are the stages, since we just talked about Star Wars, right? These are the stages, the 3 stages of games journalism grief. Okay, 1, it's not true. It's just sexist that she's bad looking. Okay, let's talk about Kay Vess's face, right? Number 1 is it's not true. You're just sexist. Number 2 is it might be true, but it's a good thing. But stop being sexist. And number 3 is okay, it's true. It's bad, but you're still sexist, right? That's the MO. I got to put in the description, the 12th hour. I forgot to put that into our... We watched that video of Minecraft. I want to make sure that I put that in there. What's it called? 12th hour? All the news stories and stuff that we did today and cover are in the description down below. All the videos of Greg Owen and also the 12th hour of the Minecraft video. That's in the description down below as well. 30, can I ask him on stream I'm on or in Discord? I have his what? You talk about for questions, for Q&A? Yeah, you can ask that in chat, right? You'll ask chat when we're doing a show, and then I will pick just like I do here, right? Like I'll just click on it, right? So if you put like question, right? You can put at 30 question, and then whatever it is, and then I can ask it. Obviously, if we're in mid-conversation or whatnot, we might have a little question section at the end. I'm still trying to figure out because really it's just a conversation between me and him, right? And I don't know if I want to bring in questions as we're going along or have a question at the end. I might take questions and I might not. Artemis says, 1 kid, and you are their best friend. When you have more than 1 kid, then each of them are your best friends. Right, you got to spread. No, my son, he's close to me. Better for worse. Love him and drives me nuts. Robert Jones says, I'm struggling with 1 kid, and I don't have enough time to play games. Welcome to the club, Jones. What you got to do is you have to have a YouTube channel. And when you want to play games, you say, I'm going live. I got a YouTube channel. That's why I do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays. I don't really play games a lot. My son, we played this weekend. We played Expedition. We played a little bit of Minecraft. We played a little games here and there. Oh, let me get that. Let me see what you sent me for the Outlaws stuff. Let's see. actually happened to me. This guy is stuck in the ladder and had to just watch the able to climb it. All right, let me see. Is this a video? Oh, it's just a You're saying that he's just stuck in the ladder. I had one guy get his foot caught and he flipped upside down. I don't think that was a glitch. He's dead. You know what I mean? He just got caught in the ladder. Outlaws was a 4-year dev cycle, unrefined rush game. Well, here's the thing, Crowd. We always say all the time, 3 to 5 years, good game. 3 to 5 years, good game. Now, obviously, a lot of the games come out in mid-development 3 and get finished 4 and 5. Or they come out 4 and then finish at 5. And that's what they're doing now. That's what they're doing now. And not only are they doing that, but they're also getting more money for it. Right? Why put 2 more years of development time and then charge $70 when you could put 3 years of development time, charge $120, and then fix it over the next 2 years? You know what my son said to me? He's really interested in YouTube. Really interested in YouTube. And obviously, as a content creator, not a successful one. He's 10. Obviously, he can't have a channel. Right? Because he has to be 13. I can make a channel for him or whatnot. But I told him, I said, look, I'll tell you what. If you want to have a YouTube channel, you got to prove to me that you can do it. Right? So this weekend, I gave him my old capture card. And he loves playing Minecraft and loves doing a bunch of stuff. And I said, I'll give you the capture card. I'll teach you, because he's got a laptop. I said, we'll put the capture card in your laptop. And you just play games. And then you record it. Right? Because he's in the process of right now. He's like, doesn't know. He's not really a sports kid. Right? Which drives me nuts because when I was a kid, I used to play outside all the time. I used to play a lot of sports. Very was out. Love playing sports. Very physical. Right? But I also play video games. There was like that balance in my life. He loves video games. And he's like, I want to do what you do. I want to do what you do. I go, I'm not doing this very good. It's like a struggle. Okay. But I want him to learn. So I gave him the capture card. So he's going to start learning how to capture footage, how to edit footage, and try to put something together. So maybe by the time he's 13 years old, maybe he'll be amazing at it. Who knows? Pixel says YouTube is easy. If you can afford a microphone, drops it. Yeah, no, I have an extra microphone for him. Now he knows the etiquette of not, he understands the etiquette of audio equipment and stuff like that. Roadkill says, man, make him learn some work and values before YouTube. That show fucking with your mental health when you're young. This is what I think. Really have no idea because I don't do it. Yeah, no, look, let me tell you something, Roadkill. It takes a special type of person to be a YouTuber where someone comes in the chat and says one thing and it could just drive you off the edge, right? Or you could be like myself where you just don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Where you just don't give a shit. I don't take anything personal, right? Some of the stuff that we go back and I'll playful. I've talked to Travis in Discord about this, right? This room to me and the people that come in it, we're like buds, right? I don't know you, right? You guys see my face. I don't see yours. I've met some of you. I know who you look like or what you hear. I have a voice to some of you. When you type, I can hear you, okay? But for the most part, we're all like buds. We're all just enjoying like talking about having a conversation, enjoying the morning, getting you through some stuff, right? So I don't take anything personal. And if we banter back and forth, like if someone's been here a really long time, I might tell you to shut the fuck up, right? But you know that I'm joking with you, right? Or we're just being playful, okay? Someone that's never been in the channel comes in and says something ridiculous, right? You guys are like the white blood cells. You'll go attack that virus that comes in because one, they haven't put their time in to joke around with us, right? Or two, they just don't have any social skills and didn't read the room, right? As what it is. And that's what it is. The more time people put in to the channel and talk and chat, right? Because I read everyone's messages and whatnot. I love the fact that I can just bring up this and pop up on the screen. This is what my channel was missing. This is what my channel was missing, because I would read them before, but people didn't realize what it was. I don't know if I like this chat over here. I think I know you guys want to chat up there, but now because we have this, do you guys like this over here? But anyway, I like saying, oh yeah, 30 rips me apart, and I don't like, I don't let people I don't know or trust do anything malicious. Just 30 knows to never take it personal unless it's Eldon, and that shit is insanely personal, right? Like, we have this banter back and forth, and it's like this community that we're building, and I absolutely love it, right? I absolutely love it. Dark says, I like that. Yeah, because a lot of people like seeing this, right? Which is fine, and I'm okay with it, right? And again, I like doing stuff what you guys want to do. I'm not a dance monkey type of guy, but I also want to bring value, and if you guys want this over here, then we'll leave it over there, right? Roadkill says, yeah, get rid of that chat over there because I have a chat right in front of me. Why do I need right there? The reason that it's there, Roadkill, is for after the fact, because and this is why this is why I would like to get rid of it, but some people like it. I liked it there because when it was uploaded after the fact, we don't really do uploads anymore. I'm testing stuff out. I'm going to do it for a couple more weeks or months. I like the growth. We have growth every single day. We've been hitting our peak, and we stay at the peak, right? So, like today we hit 60 peak, okay? And then it stayed within the 50s, so we're getting more viewership every single day, right? And then it tails off and not. But for the most part, when people watch it after the fact, when I talk to people in chat, they can see it over here, what I'm doing, okay? But now, because I have this down below, I don't know if I need this over here. Because it's after, because sometimes the chat's there and people see it, other times they don't. They want to know who I'm talking to. A lot of people were saying, what's he speaking of? Because I would talk about the topic, then talk to people in chat, but they didn't know who I was talking to. Yeah, most people, Jones, don't watch the chat. They just listen to me like a radio. Eclipse says, yeah, the bottom, you don't need the side one anymore. That's up to you. But it might be helpful for people that watch the VOD, maybe of them being in the stream. Right, but I feel like this, the bottom, covers that over there. Yeah, I was thinking about multi-streaming on Twitter and this at the same time, and then have that chat over there for people to see. But again, even having the bottom chat, like I could click on something and it would show you where it's coming from, you know? I didn't see the new trailer yet, Travis, but I think that's the next game people are going to be chewing apart because of, because we're sexist, racist, and bigots. I think that's the next game. So the video talking about the new Vanguard trailer introduces a first non-binary companion. Doesn't non-binary just mean you won't commit to either side? Well, the fact is, why do I care? Why do I care? See, this is the problem. This is off on the wrong foot already with that game. Talk about the game. That's not talking about the game. Telling me there's the first non-binary character companion, that's not talking about the game. Talk about the game. Talk about the game. The gameplay. Like, what's happening in the game. I don't care. It's a fictitious character. Like, don't market your game with that stuff. Because when you play the game, if they tell you, and the character's like, oh, I'm blah, 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 and I love men, and I love women, and I sleep with everybody, and it'd be like, all right, that's part of the story, cool. But to use it as promotional material, you're asking, right? You're asking for it. And this is exactly what I just said before I even read your thing, right? It's going to come in, okay? It's going to come in, and people are going to start saying, we don't care about this stuff. And they'll be like, you're sexist, you're racist, you're misogynistic, right? Because they don't have a business model to promote the game. They got to promote the game from you hating the game. Artemis says the side chat does help with the time delay on messages. Yeah, I'm happy to keep it there. I'm happy to keep it there. Like I said, my biggest thing is I love that I have that chat across the bottom so people know who I'm talking to and what it's about. You know what I mean? The context of who we're having a conversation with at that moment. Jason says Veilguard is going to have fails so hard I can't wait and laugh and cope. Just like Greg Owen said, Jason, right? You just got to sit back and laugh and get your popcorn because it's just the same business model over and over again, and they're surprised that it fails. Pixel says people go to the dance or school to dance. Simple facts. That's right. We don't care about that stuff. Just make a game, sell a game. Travis blocked me years ago. Look, if people want to block you, by all means, let them block you, right? If they stick around but they don't want to interact with certain people, that's their choice, right? Robert Jones says, I don't see Veilguard or Assassin's Creed failing. What is your definition of failing, Jones? Like, publicly, you're saying? Or are you saying financially? Like, the public persona, you don't think is going to fail no matter what happens? It's still going to be in the good light of the public? Or do you think financially it's not going to fail no matter what? Pixel says I didn't take offense. I can see his opinion on the side chat. Eclipse says, what about the fair games that look so bad, just cancel it? Sony before it spends too much money on it? It's another thing that's going to happen, Eclipse. I don't know what's going to happen with fair games. Let's say finance. Okay. So finance, obviously we have to wait, right? And we'll never know, but from the public view, all we can do is look at if the last Assassin's Creed sold, let's say 7 million copies, okay, within the first, let's say, year or 6 months, and then the new one comes out and it doesn't sell that, then we can say it's a failure or it's a decline or it didn't do so well. But here's the problem. There's that $18. There's that $18 and we never know. It blurs the lines of what's successful or not successful, because we can always say, well, Steam numbers are down, but a lot of people bought it for PlayStation and Xbox, but a lot of people are not playing on console, so there must be more people playing the $18. Like, the only way we know if it's successful is if Ubisoft comes out and says so. Crowded House says, I'm actually starting to think that Veilguard looks pretty good. I'll wait for reviews, but I'm intrigued. Oh, it came full circle, Crowded. They won you over. It's because they told you it was a non-binary character in there, huh? Brought you in. Argus says, I have a bold personality, so I'm fine with anybody blocking me, but I've never blocked anyone. So if you want to go test my patience on my knowledge, I'll do it anytime. Travis says, I think both Dragon Age and Mass Effect are too beloved to fail. How was Rome? Was Rome good? Was Rome too big to fail? Roic says, I think the change in combat in Veilguard will put all the OG players off. It won't do that well. I tend to agree with you, Roic. Not only did they change the combat, but they changed the style, the stylistic of the game. It's not as dark. It's very like Fortnite poppy, like color vibrant stuff. It almost looks like a Dauntless. It almost looks like a Fortnite type of thing. Jason says, nothing is too beloved to fail. Look at Star Wars franchise in general. Very true. And I agree with that, Jason. That's why I said, how did Rome? How's Rome doing? Rome was too big to fail until it did. I watched the recent 20-minute gameplay video. It didn't look bad. I haven't watched it. Maybe we'll watch it tomorrow. Dolphin says, Veilguard will be successful. Okay. Well, let's just mark that down for Dolphin. El Dente says 30 using Rome as an example. You're showing your age there, Mike. Well, it's okay, El Dente, because most people don't even know what Rome is. The youngsters today don't follow history, so they don't even know Rome collapsed. Argus says both of those absolutely could fail. They don't have the cultural influence in gaming things like COD do. Those titles don't capture the trend chasers. Oh, Crowd says it looks like World of Warcraft. Yeah, I could see that a little bit. You're being racist though, Crowded. You're saying that the two characters that are like dwarves inside of that's why you're saying it looks like World of Warcraft. Can't believe you're in my chat like that. Argus says, Lono approved his opinion of the game based on the newest trailer. Lono has improved his opinion of Veilguard? Chris says, I know Rome. That's Caesar's Legion in Fallout. That's right. Yeah, that's it. That's what Rome is. Well, it's just a Mass Effect game that failed big time compared to the other ones. Yeah, the BioWare's got a lot of stuff going against them right now, right? Because they went 0 for 2 for the last games they came out with, right? They had Andromeda and they had Anthem, and now they have this. So they're not really bringing in the momentum from the last two games that they have in, right? Allsword says, Mom, Grandpa 30 is talking about some gameplay. It's called Rome. I think he's starting to go crazy. Here's the thing. Will Veilguard win the new modern audience enough where the fans of actual Dragon Age don't leave? You see what I'm saying? Enough people that used to play Dragon Age, are they not coming back? And are the modern audience that they're trying to go for will be enough to cover that, to just be back to where they were? That'll be the real question. My answer is no. That's my answer. I don't think there's enough modern audience to cover the people that are not coming back to Dragon Age because of what they're doing. I haven't watched or seen, so maybe we'll watch it tomorrow and maybe my opinion will change. Travis says, the real question, you ever played The Forgotten City? Is a game that started as Skyrim mod and got turned into a real game that's basically Skyrim but in ancient Rome. I've never played it. Eclipse says, when I saw the new gameplay of Veilguard, I will admit it looked better than it did than when they showed it the first time, but it still doesn't look great to me. Well, I have a question, Eclipse. Why wouldn't they show that gameplay first? Why did they show what they showed first and then showed this, right? Because me, first impressions are everything. And when I first saw the first thing, I was like, I wanted to know the more meats and potatoes of the stuff, and all they did was show me the same move over and over early on in the game, and nothing interacted with you. You were just like running through the much linear part of the game. Eclipse says the modern audience doesn't play video games, they just talk on Twitter. Pixel says, I'm modern. I bought a hat. Argus says, modern audience is the target for sure. And no, that won't work. Altern says, Dustborn or Concord and Dustborn showed me the modern audience isn't enough to sustain a company. Well, that's happening in the movie industry. That's happening in a lot of different industries right now in the entertainment field. And video games is part of that. Like there is no modern audience. Do you know why the modern audience doesn't exist? Because the modern audience doesn't have money. The people that have money are people that are older. Because before, and I don't want to get political here, but people that are older have more money. One, because we've been around longer on average. Okay. And two, we like good products. We give our hard-earned money to people that make product. You make product, we give you money. If you make a shit product, we don't give money. Okay? And also that your kids, right, like what you like, and they have their likes. Okay? But the funny part is, if my kid wants to go see Minecraft the movie, if he doesn't have an allowance and money to get, then he can't go see that unless I say you can go see it. So we're the gatekeepers. We're the gatekeepers of our children. Okay? If I don't agree with something and I see a show or something trying to preach something, and I'm like, yeah, no, you can't play that game. You can't watch that show. You can't see that movie. Right? Until my son's old enough to make his own decisions, I'm the gatekeeper of that. Okay? So they're going for this modern audience. Well, the people that are old enough to have jobs and do all the stuff, you can look on the internet. They're angry because they just found out they had to pay taxes. They're angry because they don't have enough money to own anything. They're actually okay not owning anything. Okay? So it's a completely different... The modern audience is looking for something, but they actually don't have enough money to go pay for those things or buy those things. They don't have things on their shelves and whatnot because they don't even have shelves. Right? They don't have a house that they're living in. They don't have anything. Are we assuming the modern audience is young? Yes. The modern audience is young, Jones. These are the people that are in their early 20s, mid 20s, right? That's the modern audience. Between like, I would say 14 to like 25. It would be like the modern day audience. The people that think when they show up to work that they're just supposed to be handed a check instead of actually working and getting a check. It's the people that have never been told that they're not good at their job. They're the people that have never been told, I'm sorry, you didn't get the job. We gave it to somebody else. They just show up and say, when can I start? Because they think that they're supposed to be handed stuff to them. Because it makes it put my expectations low when they show me something good. And I'm like, that's all right. Artemis is like, oh yeah, old people are like good products, and this is why people are still buying Chevys. I'm beginning to think that there's must be some money laundering involved. Perhaps. I mean, that's why there is what's it called? NFTs and also cryptocurrencies and stuff. Artemis, you've gone too far. You could talk shit about people, but don't disrespect any car here. Pete Parsons will be upset with you. Pete Parson will be upset with you. Robert Jones says, I don't think the modern audience is young. They just like woke stuff. Okay, so do you think the majority of people that are in the modern audience, Jones, do you think they're older or younger? Again, we don't know. I'm asking. Do you think the people that like woke stuff are more older or younger? And my next question is, have you ever been to Austin, Texas? Artemis lives in Austin, Texas. I love Austin, Texas, Artemis. Okay, I lived there for a bit. Loved it there, right? Now, Austin, Texas is a very liberal, right? And the people there are very, they like good music, they like the stuff. But there's a lot of people that are that modern audience, and the reason I'm saying Austin, Texas, because it's like Los Angeles. It's like San Francisco meets New York, right? Is that middle child of Austin, Texas, right? Lots of people in Austin, Texas are like that modern audience. An example, I'm bringing broad stroke general here. I'm just trying to use it as a, right? It's like Seattle, Washington, right? A lot of modern audiences there, right? Very small niche. Okay, and that's why I'm picking it out, right? Out of Texas, all of Texas, Austin, Texas is a very liberal, okay, very liberal area inside this larger state. And that's what I'm using as my analogy here. The modern audience is very tiny, very small niche of a much bigger area. Give me money. I need to buy a Velgar Dustborn. Those games are mad just for me. I'm still modern audience. Yeah, Austin, Texas is a San Francisco meets New York, is what it is. Right. Keep Austin weird is their motto. I loved it there because the food's great. The people are really nice. Okay. That you could literally go hiking and go boating, and it's a really, really cool town. It's a bit hot, but it also gets cool. It's a nice place. I loved it when I lived there. Music's good. Scene's nice. Magic says Austin, Texas is the Twitch streamer capital. Is it? I would think that would be Tampa. There's so many people that live in Tampa. So many people live in Tampa. Texas is becoming big, though. Texas is becoming big. A lot of streamers that I know live in either Texas or Florida. Argus says young and progressive is modern. Yeah. That's why I gave the analogy earlier of that the younger audience is that, but they don't have money. Texas is great. Texas, obviously you can go to Mexico if you live in Austin, but it's a pretty quick drive, overall. You can also go to Dallas, San Antonio, Houston. You can go hiking, right? It's a giant state, but there's a lot of different things that you can do in Texas. I have a lot of friends there. One of my best friends lives in Austin / he might be moving to Dallas. I have lots of friends in Austin because when I worked in the film industry, I used to work a lot there. Houston was awful. Don't go there. The people in Texas call Houston the toilet bowl city. Do you know why they call it the toilet bowl city? Because the highway literally circles the main city, and it looks like a toilet bowl. Like the way the here, let me see if I can. So when you look at Houston, right? Like downtown Houston is literally surrounded, then it's surrounded again. There's another circle around that. It literally like a toilet bowl. I spent a lot of time in Texas. Yeah, it's very hot there. We filmed a show there with what's the rapper's name? Paul Wall? Was that his name? Yeah, I think it was Paul Wall. He lives out in Houston, and we had to film a reality show there with him. It was so hot. So hot and humid. Right? Is that his name? I believe that's his name. Yeah, Paul Wall. Yeah. I have footage. Well, I don't own the footage anymore, but I filmed footage. Yeah, it's fucking hot there, Sarge. It is fucking hot. I have footage of Paul Wall. He just had his baby when it happened. We're talking 2006, 2007. So his kid is 20 years old now. Holy shit! Just to think that. Anyway, he just had a newborn, and he's sitting on his back porch. He's got his baby in his arms, and he's shooting cans off his back fence with a gun. Like realistic. Like it was such a picture, and we were filming, and they were just sitting on their back porch shooting beer cans off the back wall. Don't worry. He had ear protection for the baby. It just reminded me. Yeah, when it snows, Artemis, when it snows in Austin, you guys shut down. You guys don't have no idea what to do. They're like, what is this white stuff on the ground? It's like a zombie apocalypse happens. Everyone abandons their cars off to the side of the road. People are walking on the highways when it happens. Because you guys don't salt your roads there. Like, what is this white stuff on the ground? And it took me so long when I lived in Texas to understand why there's a highway and then there's the excess road, like the whatever you call it, off the highway, right? So it's the same thing. You could run on the highway or run off the highway. Nate from 100 Thieves just moved. Nate shot? Moved there because of taxes. Moved to Texas? I can't wait for our 2 weeks in Florida when we get 60 degrees. It's going to be great. Can't wait. Oh, that's right. You guys also get brownouts and stuff like that out in Texas as well. All right. Past 1 o'clock. We get later and later every day. I appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with us as we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till, I should say, 1 Eastern. We cover news stories, have conversations with chat. If you like what we do here, hit that like button. We have 30 likes right now. There's 35 of you here. Let's get that like ratio up there. It does help us out on this very small channel. We'll do this again tomorrow. Tonight, we're going to be playing some video games. I don't know what I'm playing yet, but we're going to play a different video game. We're done with Outlaws story-wise, so we're going to play something else. Maybe we'll play Star Truckers. Maybe we'll play Expedition. Maybe we'll play something. We'll play something. But come back 8 o'clock tonight for some gameplay. It's more relaxed. I chat, but at the same time, I play video games. Tomorrow we'll be back at 10 o'clock in the morning. And then Wednesday night, we have a podcast this week. We're not shooting the shit with Sarge. We usually play a game. We usually play Borderlands 2 with Sarge, Akuta Papa, and Kylo comes in. But we won't be doing that this week. This week, we're talking to Greg Owen, whose video that we watched earlier today. So come back 8 p.m. to Chatting With. It's a podcast that we do. Talking to Greg Owen Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern right here on 30 NSG. And then we do Generation X Gaming Podcast on Thursday evening to finish out the week here on this channel. Appreciate it very much. You guys have a great rest of your day, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.